Good morning, one and all. Welcome to this one-day international seminar. My name is Subramanya. I am part of the Gogreen team. We'll be handling this seminar through the day with you. We have planned 3 technical events. There is an inauguration. I request you to give your full attention. I think this is a fantastic project. I think this has got a future in our country, especially where the demand is outstripping the supply. And we have been working on this project. There's a complete ecosystem around it. So I need your complete attention during the day. Our entire team is available here, so if you have any questions, either with the speakers or with any of us, please feel free. May I call the following dignitaries to occupy the dais, the head table, please. Ms. Nagaraj Shetty, sir. Ms. Nabin, can you please escort Ms. Nagaraj Shetty to the dais? Ex-Minister Government of Karnataka, Managing Director of Managing Partner of Ganesh Shipping Agencies, Bangalore. Welcome, sir. Please. Mr. Gyan Chodhia, Managing Director of Indexone, Infracon and Logistics. Welcome, sir. Please. Mr. Pavan, Director of Gogreen. Welcome, sir. Mr. Nabin Panda. Welcome, sir. Mr. Ravi Kelkar, sir, please. Welcome. And our host for the day, Mr. Nabin Pavan, MD of Gogreen. We start every auspicious occasion with lighting the lamp. I request the dignitaries on the dais to light the lamp and start the function off. So please.
Think green, go green. Dignitaries on the dais, delegates from the press, dignitaries from various places, and my dear colleagues. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome all of you for this one-day international seminar on biodiesel industries, opportunities and challenges. For this session, we have various eminent speakers from different parts of the country, and we have with us dignitaries even from outside India. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to this august gathering. Firstly, I would like to welcome Sri Nagaraj Shetty, to this function as the chief guest of the function. Mr. Nagaraj Shetty, he is into business as well as in politics. He did diploma in management at Mangalore, and he is the managing partner of Ganesh Shipping Agencies since 1979. He is into various activities of shipping clearance, logistics, customs clearance, and many more activities. He is into politics at the age of 16. He becomes member of Legislative Assembly in the year 2004, and he becomes the Cabinet Minister of Government of Karnataka for Fisheries and Horticulture in the year 2006. He was the chairman of the Coastal Department. With his initiation, he took the challenge of creating 320 kilometers coastline belt at 3 districts of Karnataka for about 3.5 years. He was the ex-chairman of Camco. He was the director of Mangalore Stock Exchange. So he roamed around the world. His son, Mr. Karthik, and Mr. Ganesh, both are looking after his business. With this, I introduced Mr. Nagaraj Shetty, and I request all the audience to give him a happy round of applause. Now, I would like to introduce a person who is a gentleman from our friendly nation, Israel. We are having a very cordial relationship between Israel and India. I myself and Mr. Nabin, our managing directors, were being there to Israel. And normally, Indians are excellent at hospitality. But when we visited their place, we saw what hospitality is. It was at the core. Ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking about the guest of honor of today's function, Dr. Ahmed Tafesh. I request all the delegates to raise up and give him a warm welcome to India. Let me introduce Ahmed Tafesh. He did bachelor degree from Portland State of US. He did master degree from Oregon State of USA. He did PhD from organic chemistry from United States of America. He is having 35 registered patents in his name in various fields of chemical formations, processing, developments, interactions, chemicals, etc. He is the Vice President and Director of Transbiodiesel-Isreal. He is excelling in biodiesel industries. So I welcome Sri Ahmed Tafesh to this function. Thank you, sir. One more special guest, Gyan Chodhia. In fact, this seminar is jointly organized by Gogreen Bioenergy India Private Limited with Indexone, Infocom and Logistics Private Limited. He is the director of Indexone Infocom Logistics India Private Limited. He is basically cost accountant and a company secretary. He is having 30 years of experience in edible oil. He is into real estate. He is into jewelry. His jewelries are, you might have seen in almost all part of India's leading stores. They are expert in antique jewelers manufacturing. They supply all branded jewelry shops. They are also into the financial product creation of multi-products. And we are happy to say that they are the largest importer of edible oil, of refined palm oil in West Coast. So he's very dynamic, he's very challenging person. I welcome Mr. Gyan to this function. Welcome you. Now I have a privilege to introduce the eminent speaker of today's function, Mr. Nabin Panda. Nabin Panda is basically a chemical engineer from NIT Roorkela. He is a gold medalist. He is into 37 years of experience in the field of petroleum and other petrol-related products. He is based in Mumbai and he is the consultant for many petroleum leading industries. I welcome Nabin Panda to this function. Welcome to you. Now, one more eminent guest, Mr. Ravi Kelkar is also with us. He's having 35 years of experience in IOC, Indian Oil. And he worked in the different areas like technical services, lab sales, clients and consumers. He did his graduation from IIT Kanpur as a chemical engineer. He's a consultant for adhesives, chemicals, lubricants, oils and chemicals from various industries. I welcome you for this August gathering. Thank you, sir. Now it's turn for our beloved Managing Director, very dynamic, very enthusiastic, Mr. Nabin Pavan, to this function. Welcome, Nabin. We have with us the senior mentor who always guides us in leading this biofuel company, Gogreen, Mr. Krishna Sahawa. He is on the dais and welcome you for this seminar, sir. After this inaugural session, we have a multi-sessions, so wherein most eminent speakers from various fields are addressing. Mr. Satheesh Leele, Mr. Nitin, Mr. Nabin Chodhia, Mr. Anjaney Reddy and others. I welcome all of them to this August gathering. Welcome to you all, sir. I welcome all delegates from press and media, and we are happy that over 27 places, different delegates have come from across India, Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, Delhi, Calcutta, Madras, and so many places. I cannot name it. So I welcome all of you for this gathering. I welcome all the delegates. I welcome all our colleagues to this seminar. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahendrakar, for introducing our guests. Well, now I would like to request Mr. Gyan Chodhia, MD, Indexone, Introcon and Logistics Private Limited, and he will speak about the supply of raw materials. Thank you. Extremely sorry about it. Please bear with us. Well, I would request our guest of honor, Dr. Ahmed Tafesh, the Vice President and the Director of Transbiodiesel-Isreal. He has come all the way from Israel to be with us, and he will tell us about the game-changing technology of commercial production of biodiesel from waste oil. Here we go.
Thank you very much. My first slide showing obviously our initial and developing partnership between the two companies, Gogreen and Transbiodiesel. Gogreen have already come to Israel and met with us, with our management. And here I am, following up on the promise to come and visit. And thank you very much, Ravi, for inviting us to come to India. It's my first visit to India, and I'm very impressed. Beautiful country. Hoping that we're going to do a lot of work together. We are basically doing this as a follow-up on footsteps of the Prime Minister Modi and the Prime Minister of India and the Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Netanyahu, have started really this initial collaboration. I believe Mr. Modi came to Israel about a year ago, roughly about 2 years ago, and Prime Minister Netanyahu came to India about a year ago. And they have started this collaboration in areas such as oil and gas, areas such as solar energy using the sun. There's plenty of sun here in India. You can utilize it for energy. There's also, of course, other energies as well, such as wind energy. Collaborations such as space science, air transportation, medicine, even film production. So we are doing the follow-up steps of the two leaders of the two countries, and we are hoping that we can really start our real collaboration among the different biodiesel partners here in India, using our enzymatic technology. So our vision for the future, we would like, as a Transbiodiesel company, we would like to become one of the world leading biodiesel producers using our immobilized enzymes that we have developed. And our enzymatic technology is really game-changing because this enzyme can convert any feedstock you can think of, as long as it is from plants or from animals. So it could be animal fat, could be used cooking oil, could be brown grease. It is an oil that being dumped into the sewer, being collected from hotels as fat trap. Today, in some major hotels, I'm not sure about the Taj, but they have major traps underneath the hotel. So when they pour the grease from the waste, the grease goes down, the water in the grease continues its route into the sewer, and the grease being trapped, and later on at the end of the month, the grease being siphoned out to be used as a feedstock for biodiesel using our immobilized technology. So we are really taking the waste into energy this way. Very briefly about, this is like a side note to tell you that different fuel beside the biodiesel, and things like methane gas. So methane gas comes also from waste organic. All the food that we have can be converted into methane gas. But 10% of the greenhouse effect is from methane. So we have to be careful how to store the methane gas and utilize it into transportation. I'm not sure about in India, do they use methane as a gas for transportation? They use it, right? So they use it, not only liquid, but also liquid methane gas, and methane gas can be used as a transportation. The other one, sorry. Here you have things like sugar cane. Sugar cane can be converted into bioethanol. But beyond that, sugar cane is really, you are going after the consumer, you are going after the food of the consumer. We don't want to do that. So you are basically getting this sugar, not only from sugar cane, you are getting the sugar from the waste straws. All the straws, dry straws, instead of really throwing the straws, you are getting the straws, hydrolyzing the straws to different sugars, because straws are a network of sugars, pentose and hexose, and you take all this, you hydrolyze it, and do fermentation, you make bioethanol. So we have three main liquid transportation fuel. That is the gas, the methane gas, that is the bioethanol, which goes to the small cars. And of course, we have the waste oil, the waste grease, that being converted into biodiesel to use it for bigger transportation vehicles such as trucks, buses, and what have you. So our company was founded, Transbiodiesel in general, was founded back in 2007. It developed an economically viable enzyme for biodiesel. It had, we have proven this technology on a 32,000 ton quantity. Our first commercial plant was in South Korea with a company by the name of M Energy. So we had recent two prestigious awards, that is the company. We got the EU Entrepreneur of the Year, and we got the State of Israel, the best startup of the year. That was back in 2010. We have raised about $20 million altogether from different groups, from different investors, and also from the government of Israel. We have approximately 6 issued patents in the immobilization of the enzyme. So we took this enzyme, as you know, an enzyme is a liquid, and we were able to immobilize it on small pellets, small beads, to make sure that the enzyme can remain sturdy, remain strong, and remain stable in the presence of methanol, because in the biodiesel, as you know, you need to have not only oil, but you have to have methanol to make the methyl ester. And methanol kills enzyme. That's why not too many people really jump into this technology of enzymes, because methanol in the biodiesel process kills the enzyme. That's why when you want to wash your hand, when you wash your hands with a gel, antimicrobial gel, this antimicrobial gel has alcohol, like ethanol. And this ethanol kills the enzyme inside the microbes. So the same thing in the biodiesel, the methanol is an alcohol and kills the enzyme. But what we do, we bypass this problem, we overcame this problem by immobilizing the enzyme inside small pellets, 500 microns to 1,000 microns. So why enzyme? Why do we want to do enzyme? Because enzyme have been known to hydrolyze oil in our body already. I'm going to show the slides. Have been known to hydrolyze, I would say, oil in our body. So in our mouth, for example, we have the enzyme in our mouth that hydrolyzes sugar. It's called amylase. In our stomach, we have protease that hydrolyzes the meat. And in our intestine, we have another enzyme called lipase. And this is the same lipase in our body being put in small pellets, 500 microns. And these are the enzymes that basically hydrolyze the oil, whether it is grease, whether it is used cooking oil, whether it's edible oil. It does the same thing like our body. But we are making it even better. It's not a liquid enzyme like in the body. We are protecting the enzyme because we are adding an extra factor such as the methane. So the technology here, we have generation, which is the edible oil. This is the rapeseed oil, the soybean oil, the palm oil, you name it. It works well, but it does not really compete very well with the current chemical technology. It's basically almost the same thing. I mean, cheaper feedstock. You know, the edible oil is somewhat expensive. I would say close to maybe 50 rupees or 47 rupees per liter. And you want to get into a feedstock that is very, very cheap, around 30 rupees or even below, such as, brown grease, for example. So this is basically the brown grease I talked about that being collected from hotels and from restaurants, and where you recover this, you do some cleanup, and you get it ready for the transformation into biodiesel. Talk about where in Beijing, in Mexico City, Los Angeles, I don't know which city here in India we have this problem, but there's a lot of pollution where you have a lot of gases coming from the exhaust, really covering, making us difficult making for our children, and it will make it even worse for our children if we don't take care of it right now. That is removing the pollution. And we want to live in a world like this, to provide this world to our children, where it's blue sky and sunny and free from pollution. So imagine all the buses, all the cars that really pollute and causing the greenhouse effect. That's why in the year 2015 there was a very big conference in Paris where they had about 190 countries. I don't know if you recall that. But they signed a treaty, including India. They had to lower the emission, and they had to lower the temperature of Earth, of the globe, by 2 degrees. So every country was committed to lower the emission by a certain percentage. So it's really a global effort, a teamwork by all nations to lower the emission. And therefore, that's what biodiesel comes into play. Because biodiesel, look at biodiesel here. Biodiesel flame, right here, it's very important to see, versus the diesel flame. So the diesel flame looks very, very bad in terms of the emission. The table here I'm showing you, it shows very clearly that the emission of the B100, right here, B100 meaning 100% biodiesel, or B20 versus the diesel. If you have B20, so it has carbon monoxide less by 12%. Look at the carbon dioxide for the greenhouse effect. B20 is less than the diesel by 15%, but almost 80% lower in CO2 from the diesel when you compare this one to one, meaning 100% to 100%. The world has started using biodiesel. These buses are in the UK, so we are really having slogans and lowering the CO2. So really people are taking pride in using the biodiesel in their buses and their trucks. You go to Stockholm today, the municipality of Stockholm is using, their buses are based on B100 biodiesel. You go even to Dubai, believe it or not. In Dubai they have 20%. Dubai, which is the country that has all the petroleum fuel, they are using 20% of biodiesel already in their municipal buses. Okay, after this little introduction, let me just zoom into the actual process. This is the chemical process for biodiesel. This is a chemical process, and the chemical process, most of you know that you have to use low FFA, high quality oil, but then you get hurt by the price of the feedstock. Your margins are very, very small. And you know that. Why? Because you are paying so much money for the feedstock. And the technology really, it requires high, you have to heat up. You have to heat it up, so it requires energy. The enzymatic, you don't have to heat it up. It's about around 30 C, 35 C maximum. You can even run the enzymatic at room temperature. It'll take a little bit longer, but it can be done. In this case, it's a food grade. It's non-economical. And of course, you get lower grade glycerin from this. Biodiesel industry has been looking for an alternative, more efficient, more greener, and possibly safer You know, the enzyme, you can put your hand into the enzyme, nothing will happen to your hand. It's very safe. If you put your hand in the potassium hydroxide, you know, don't try it, but it's not very good feeling. Okay? And some people use even sulfuric acid to take care of the high FFA, so even sulfuric acid is very, very bad. You know, you put any material in sulfuric acid, it will disappear. So be careful. I mentioned earlier about the enzyme in our body, but it's very important from an economic basis inside the reactor for approximately 8 months to a year. You don't have to take it out. As long as you have nozzles, as long as you have filter, where continuously the liquid only moves inside the reactor, and you take the liquid, you separate all the liquids, you separate the excess methanol, the glycerol, and the water from the biodiesel. You continue the biodiesel process for further purification. It's a very profitable process, especially if you are using low-grade feedstock. Remember, if you have feedstock, you are the king. Feedstock constitutes approximately 80% of the cost of biodiesel. So if the feedstock cost is low, your revenues, your gain, your profit are high. So that's how it works. And in terms of the environment, as you know, the feedstock is a waste. So we are really helping the environment. We are taking away the waste of the environment. We're not getting into the consumer. We're not getting into the edible oil. We're using waste, trying to clean up the environment. And we are utilizing this waste to convert that into biodiesel. And in terms of financial, it's 1 kilogram of enzyme gives approximately, we can guarantee that to 3,000. And in terms of its performance, as I mentioned, looks, you know, it's very, this can be cycled or recycled several times, over 300 times. Earlier in the game, we were able to recycle this 50 times, so we got better and better, and we found different resins and different better enzymes. We were able to get it even more than 300 cycles. This is how it looks like under the microscope. These are the resin. This is the resin in the bottle. Yes, this is the resin in the bottle. Small resin, small pellets. This is the same one under the microscope. And this is a comparison of the enzymatic versus the chemical. You know, pretty much this is using soybean oil, so pretty much the same. But look at the glycerol coming out of the chemical. Because of the sodium hydroxide and the potassium hydroxide, the glycerol is really dark. You know, and you can probably tell from your experience all the chemicals are inside. Where here, because it's enzymatic, it's green, environmentally friendly. You get this. You get the glycerol as water. So you don't even need to clean it up. That's how the enzyme look like after you recover it in production. So our process here, we do, I will show you also in a video afterwards, how we are doing with time. Okay. So this is the pre-treatment. So you have a vessel for pre-treatment because you are using grease. Remember, you are not using edible oil. You are using grease. Very, very nasty. It has a lot of junk in there. So you have to do pre-treatment. It has the detergents. It has polymers. You need to do something to it to take this out, remove it, and take this recovered oil, which is really dirt cheap, and do pre-mixing with methanol. Do mixing with methanol and water here, and you put that inside the reactor that has already enzyme in it. Yes, and you let it stir, and finally this will continue to a workup to really bring it up to about 98%, and finally we do a distillation to get high quality biodiesel, which really meet the European EN standard as well as the American ASTM standard. Feedstocks, very, very important. As I mentioned earlier, again, the cost of the feedstock determines how much money you're going to be making at the end of the process. So we can use different feedstocks. we would like to make more money, so we want to go to second generation. And I don't know whether you guys have any incentive in India if you use second generation, but some of these feedstocks are not too expensive. Acid oil, you can get them from different supplier. Fatty acids like styrene, yellow grease, animal fat, crude corn, and jatofa oil. The enzyme can handle it. Mainly, I put this in red, the brown grease. This is the one that we recovered from the grease trap in big. And that's why if you do mainly some work to recover it, clean it up, and be able to convert that into biodiesel using the immobilized enzyme. Generic term for this, trap grease, sewage grease, that's what it's called. And these greases, the used cooking oil, for example, you can use it for animal feed. Even yellow grease, that being cooked several times, you can actually get away and use it for animal feed. But the brown grease, the one being dumped into the sewer, being collected, it has so much junk in it, you cannot use it for animal. So you can only use it for biodiesel. You cannot use it for anything else. And this is what a grease trap looks like. Basically, you get it from the restaurants or from hotels. It goes down inside. And of course, it goes down inside the grease with the water. And the water here continuously flows through the baffle to the other side and siphoned out. And the grease basically accumulates in this. And you would know whether it will fill up in 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe 1 month. You know that every month maybe you have to go and siphon out all this grease. You have plenty of grease every month to take out and get rid of it. And people that are doing biodiesel around the world using grease would love to take it from you for free. I'm sure you will charge them, but they would love to take it from you for free. This is a little bit marketing for you to have a feel for what's going on in terms of the marketing. The different, the Western Europe and Latin America, they are all showing growth from 2010 here. From 2010 to 2020, they are showing growth, almost doubling. In Asia, growth going 255% from the year 2010 to 2020. So from 2010, we have 17 million tons of brown grease, close to 18 million tons in the year 2000. And in the year 2025, look at this jump. We're talking about, 2025 is not too far. 25 million tons of biodiesel. And guess where all this is going to be coming from? They're coming from raised oil. So a lot of people, the trend is up, guys. You should know that. The trend of biodiesel is going up. Because the facts I showed you earlier, the pollution of the diesel, the pollutants, the particles, the particulates, the smog, the health, the adverse effect that this diesel has. So the biodiesel is slowly taking a chunk out of the diesel. So as you can see, the biodiesel is going up. And I'm sure in India, it's going to be going fast relative to already established countries such as Europe and the United States. Here I want to show you briefly, just look here, virgin oil, the cost of raw material, and you are making companies like ADM, Cargill, making approximately 20, 25, maybe $15 a ton, but they are making millions of tons, so they can afford the small margin. If you use UCO with less than 5%, you are able, it's a lower price that you pay for this, and your margin is a little bit higher. But if you use the brown grease, for example, yes, you are paying much less than what you paid for the other oil, but your margins are pretty good, talking about per ton, on the use of the appropriate feedstock. So by choosing, it's very simple, by choosing the feedstock, choose the right technology, you are set. But the key here, you have to maintain supply of the feedstock. You cannot say, I'm excited, it's a very good technology, whether it's chemical, enzymatic, different fixed bed catalysts, you name it. You have to choose the right catalyst with the right supply of feedstock. You have the right supply. You don't want to be stuck in the middle of the year with no feedstock. You have to ensure you have feedstock to ensure constant profit at the end of the year. And the biodiesel price, which is not bad if you convert this by 32,000, that's a few millions of dollars in profit. It's a lot of money. Simple technology, it's green technology, and I call it a triple green, even quadruple green, if you add in the biodiesel to this. So I say in this case the alcohol is bioethanol, but of course we are using methanol in many countries. Ethanol, you go to, I was in Brazil last year, they are using ethanol, not methanol. They are making ethyl ester in their feeds, in their biodiesel. And they are bioethanol coming from the fermentation of the sugar cane I mentioned earlier. So this is basically the triple or quadruple because you are using also biodiesel. It's also biodiesel. It's green, so everything is green. It's very good for the environment, and very good for the consumer, very good for our children, very good for everybody. So basically, you are taking grease, looks like this, and you're basically burning the waste in your car. That's it. Thank you so much.
Biodiesel has developed Transbiodiesel-A, the world's only patent-protected, immobilized enzyme-based catalyst for industrial-scale production of biodiesel. While the chemical conventional process for the production of biodiesel is harmful to the environment and requires expensive, high-quality feedstock, Transbiodiesel's technology allows the use of the lowest grade and most expensive feedstock, such as brown grease. Our immobilized enzymes, a game-changer technology, operates at ambient temperature with low carbon footprint and no toxic waste. The Transbiodiesel-A used in our biodiesel process is reusable and can be used for more than 6 months, resulting in a significant reduction of production costs. The technology behind Transbiodiesel's enzymatic process is groundbreaking. The process is very simple. The high-acid value waste oil and the methanol are premixed and then added to the stirring continuous enzymatic reactor. The developed methanol-resistant immobilized enzymes catalyze both transesterification and esterification reactions in a one-pot reaction medium. The resulting reaction mixture after the enzymatic conversion instantly splits to 2 layers. The upper layer contains mainly crude biodiesel and minor concentrations of unreacted glycerides and free fatty acids. The bottom layer contains glycerol, water, and excess methanol. The reaction cycle using Transbiodiesel-A delivers more than 96% conversion of any type of low-quality feedstock to crude biodiesel. The formed crude biodiesel is transferred to the post-treatment vessel using Transbiodiesel's proprietary purification process to yield ASTM and EN-spec grade biodiesel. Depending on the feedstock grade, the glycerol byproduct is clear and free of salts, which is much cleaner than glycerol produced by any other available technique used in the production of biodiesel. As market forecasts show a total growth of 128% in the production of biodiesel by 2020, the biodiesel plant's owners choosing our IP-protected enzymatic technology will benefit from substantial production and time savings, and environmental contaminants reduction, our engineering know-how, and ongoing enzyme supply. In a joint venture, the plants will enjoy an expected ROI in less than 36 months. Transbiodiesel, join us in turning waste oil to profit.
Thank you very much.
Request all our delegates to keep your phone on silent mode so that we can focus on the seminar without any interruption. Thank you. And also we have our tea coffee facilities at the pre-function area. So please feel free to refresh yourself anytime. Well, now we have Mr. Gyan Chodhia, MD Indexone Infocom and Logistics Private Limited. So I will request him to please come on the stage and he will speak about the supply of raw materials. Thank you.
International Seminar of Biodiesel Industries. Actually, basically I am the edible oil person, having experience of more than 30 in the edible oil industries in India. And for biodiesel industries, the basic raw material is the edible oils and their byproducts and waste products generated during the process of refining of edible oils. So, actually this biodiesel so far manufactured from the available indigenous sources actually. But now the policy has come out by which the government is supporting to manufacture local biodiesel and give our Make in India projects of Prime Ministers. The policy is not actually formalized but so far is not implemented in India. But within the next 6 months or 1 year, I am hopeful that this policy will become really implemented and there will be a huge opportunity of biodiesel manufacturing in India. But again, the source of raw material is the key factor for the biodiesel industries. What we are planning to for this for biodiesel industries for supply of raw material, to source the materials in a big quantity at a very competitive rates for the industries. A particular biodiesel plant having a capacity of 50 tons or 100 tons, he cannot be able to more negotiate in the pricing for the suppliers, or the sourcing of raw material is very costly for them. So what we are planning with the Gogreen, that we will source the materials, it will be available all 365 days available at the ports, or we will supply to even to the plant sites also. And the prices will be, because since we will talk for our entire edible, our associate partner of the biodiesel manufacturers, that whatever the requirements is there for their industries, we will negotiate with the suppliers and bring in a big vessel size, load size. And someone is importing in the containers, and if he imports in a bulk vessel loads, there will be a lot of price savings for our entire channel partners actually. Not only us for the savings, it will be a manufacturer for the channel partners who manufacture the biodiesel. And our production cost will also be very competitive, and we will be able to sell at a more competitive price in our local markets. So we are associating with the Gogreen to source the big raw materials, whatever the raw materials, what the technology the Israel, the technicians has office, he has given. We are also exploring the possibilities that can we get the cheapest raw material available either in Malaysia, Indonesia, who are the largest producers of the edible oils, basically the palm oil and their byproducts actually. And because along with their technology and the cheapest source of raw material at a very economical price and very competitive price, if we can get with our channel partners who putting the plants of biodiesels, it will be a win-win situation for all the manufacturers as importers as well as the cost of the biodiesel generations. It will be beneficial for the entire the partner process actually. During the discussions or during the conference, we are discussing it at a later stage also, that how we can tie up with there, how we can formulate this process actually. It's just an idea we thought of that we will supply the raw materials to the entire biodiesel industries who are associated with our Gogreens and the Indexones. Then you don't require to worry for the sourcing of raw materials. It will be regularly availability of you have to concentrate more on your production sites actually. The marketing sites will also taken care of by the Gogreens, and source of raw materials will be taken care of by us. So you have to concentrate more on the production sites. So all the three channel partners will get opportunities of the economies of scales in the terms of the sourcing, in terms of the manufacturing, in terms of the selling also. So it's basically I am not a biodiesel person. I don't know about the biodiesels. About 1 month before I was not knowing the ABCD of the biodiesels actually. So now, but since we associate with the Gogreen in some business model actually, so he has offered us to join as a supplier of the raw material for the biodiesel industries. Since I have the experience of more than 30 years in the edible oil industries, we will be able to get the cheapest available of raw materials for the biodiesel industries. And since there is a growing in sunrise industries in India, we are also taking the interest with the government of India how to get some subsidy or the zero duty of imports for the raw material for biodiesel industries, which the other industries also getting to have the manufacture in place of importing the biodiesel from the Malaysia, Indonesia. Let's have the manufacturing in India and source the raw material at 0% duty. So during the process, we will discuss with the prospective our industry players also, and we will formulate the policies and how we can join as a partner actually. Not a supplier, is a partner in the entire process actually. So Mr. Nabin will when you talk to your prospective clients and these things, we have to see that what is the volumes, and it is a volume games actually. If you are importing a 20 tons containers, you are paying about $50 to $60 tons. Your negotiation power is also not there if you negotiate for 1,000 tons, 2,000 tons. If someone negotiates for 50,000 tons a month in the bulk vessel size for all the ports, it will be a win-win situation for the entire biodiesel industries in India. So this is my part in the entire the conference actually, only for the sourcings of the raw materials. And I think we are capable to get the cheapest raw materials available requirements for the biodiesel industry. Thank you very much.
Now I request Mr. Nabin Panda to address the delegates. So I would request him to please come on the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Distinguished guest from Israel, Honorable Mr. Shetty, and various delegates from this biodiesel industry. It is a really privilege to meet all the people who are being interested with the biodiesel segment together under one roof. Thanks to the organizer, Mr. Nabin Pavan, for organizing this event. Basically, I am from petroleum industry. For last 37 years, I was more on petroleum side. So, seeing the lot of diesel engines in the country, and which has led to the environmental pollution. Today, as we have seen in the this video, that the whole your air is full of NOx emission from the diesel, as well as from the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide emission from the diesel engine. So, with this biodiesel, obviously we are going to reduce this pollution to a large extent. And of course, the need of the hour is the support of the government to encourage this biodiesel production with a startup industries like what Gogreen is going ahead. Because as you have seen, the today diesel market is monopolized by either a government oil sector or very big business segments. So again the marketing diesel also in the public is also it is limited because there are a lot of regulations are there. With biodiesel coming up, there is a lot of opportunities that is now seeing. Small startups can come up with enzyme technology or the conventional technology. So this forum, when we go to technical session, with a cheap sourcing of raw materials as well as a right technology of enzyme, I think this has indeed going in the right spirit, and with a favorable, favorable policy decisions by government to patronize this type of startups, this will give a better future for our children with a better environment. With this, I thank the organizers for inviting me and my, of course, friend Mr. Ravi Kelkar, we both are in the petroleum line, and slowly we are trying to get associated with biodiesel group. We know the diesel segment is a very big segment, whether it is vehicles what you see in the cities like Mumbai, like Bengaluru, you can see the daytime the amount of pollution created by vehicles, diesel vehicles, is so bad that obviously we look forward that let biodiesel come, let it be replacing the conventional diesel and can bring a lot of changes in the environment. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nabin Panda, for sharing the information with us. Now I request Mr. Ravi Kelkar to address the delegates. So I would request him to please come on the stage.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks to Mr. Nabin Pavan for giving me opportunity to address this esteemed delegates team. Mr. Shetty, Mr. Nabin Pavan, Mr. Ahmed, my colleague Mr. Nabin Panda, and all the delegates, I wish you a very good morning. Now I would like to tell one thing, that the opportunity which Mr. Nabin Pavan has created for so many new enterprises or people who are willing to invest money in biodiesel is phenomenal. Today what is happening, the Government of India's policy, it clearly says that initially they said that B100 or B80, whatever they call it, or B20, means total fully biodiesel, that is B100. B20 they promoted for industrial customers, because still Government of India's policy clearly states that automobile, if at all someone wants to use this B20, that is 80% diesel and 20% biodiesel, it has to be routed through the government oil companies, national oil companies, or it can be sold by manufacturer directly to the network. Now the question is, till maybe 5 years back or even today, the biodiesel plants which are running in India are mainly on conventional methoxide, sodium hydroxide process. But Dr. Ahmed, as he has pointed out, in Israel they developed this enzymatic process, which is a very simplified, cheaper process. And they are already established in Korea and other countries, and with them Mr. Nabin Pavan has carried out. So this enzymatic process is a wonderful process which will break down these used oils or greases or other agricultural resources to biodiesel, and it will open up a new avenue for marketing. Now the question is, as of today, when we say that what are the problems with existing diesel, Government of India has already went ahead and they said by 2019 we will be adopting this BS6 specification of diesel. This BS6 specially gives emphasis on particulate matter in diesel, which causes a lot of pollution. You must have seen that Mumbai or Delhi. In Mumbai they already banned use of diesel in auto rickshaws. Those are all on CNG or petrol only. Taxis and auto rickshaws. Even in Delhi, CNG is there for auto rickshaws, but diesel vehicles are too many. Now the question is, if you want to reduce this particulate pollution, it is necessary that you shift over to some other product which is more environmentally friendly. Thirdly, what happens in different industries? Let us take industries which are running on DG sets. Why DG sets became this diesel generating set becomes so popular in India? Because there were a lot of power fluctuations. Industries were not getting power in time. So large DG sets or marine DG sets were installed in most of the industries to meet continuous power demand. Now what happens that This B20, B80, it can be easily run. You can run your DG set without any problem, without any fluctuation or without any breakdown in your DG set with the same diesel, same biodiesel. Biodiesel is an excellent fuel and it can help directly in running your excavators, your heavy loaders, your machines, your transport in any industry, including DG sets. So now what happens even if you are using some percentage of biodiesel in your unit, it will be a substantial saving, not only saving, but it will be a national saving in terms of pollution. You will be reducing, helping the nation in reducing pollution, and your economy also will improve. Now when we are getting this into biodiesel business, maybe directly it may not be applicable to the auto industry in retail sector, but in consumers, yes, it is very easily affordable, it is easily applicable without any problems, and it can be implemented. Thank you very much.
Now, I request Mr. Sri Nagaraj Shetty to deliver the keynote address to our delegates, please.
Good morning, all of you, ladies and gentlemen, respected dignitaries who are present in this inauguration function of this one-day conference, and all the delegates all over India and also from abroad, and especially from Karnataka, and my dear media friends. Especially I should thank Mr. Nabin Pavan, who says that our country should go green. Today the requirement of the day, where how a human being can survive with a clean air, clean water and clean food. Today everything is polluted, everything has been with the chemical, and we are getting all the sickness every day with the new special names. I always used to say, in good olden days, we had an ordinary doctor who used to treat us. His designation is registered medical practitioner. And he used to have any sickness, he used to give a treatment. Today I saw in some specialized hospitals where every finger, one doctor is there specialized. For one finger, one doctor. So, as a politician, because I am a politician come businessman, the government should think of giving a clean water, clean air and clean food for all our people of this country, great country. That's why our present central government, headed by Shri Modi Sahab, he is thinking very deeply how to come over our present situations and problems. As you know, every day the fuel cost, diesel or petrol or kerosene, is going up with various reasons. I don't want to go deeper in the subject because we are running short of time, but I want to brief. The solution is required for this country. That's the reason my dear friend from Israel is here. They have come out with a very nice proposal how best we both countries can join together. I visited Israel, as he said, he is visiting first time to India. I visited Israel when I was a minister in 2006, along with the Sri Sharad Pawar, then agriculture minister. We lot of ministers along with him visited there. We were there for 4 days. So we were studying such a small country like, I'm sorry to say that, Israel is developing so fast, economically and powerful, with a clean water, clean water without any pollution. So why can't we also try? So that's why our great Prime Minister visited last year. He is the first Prime Minister who visited the Israel. I'm happy to say that he visited there and he started having a tie-up with Israel. So I should congratulate the Israeli Prime Minister and all our friend who was all the way come here related to this Go Green project of this great country. One thing is very specific, that we have to see 2-3 points here. One, we are thinking on various aspects, how best we can convert this great country, because our country is a big country and population we are number 2 in the world after China. So our basic idea is requirement of the day today, we require fuel, we require diesel. Now suddenly we are coming with a lot of plus minus. We used to get from various Gulf countries, we used to get from Iran. There is a restriction now. Slowly the rules and regulations are changing. So for the requirement of the day, every day the cost of the fuel is increasing and every day the requirement of the fuel is doubling. So our country requires a solution for which this is the only best solution we can think of, which is a need of the hour. So right time we are entering to the market, and Government of India also given a lot of facilities. As rightly my friend from Malaysia said, that of course we have to think of the policies like zero import duty on these raw materials, and cost wise, as we know, I'm also a businessman. I went to Malaysia to try get the raw material of the waste of these palm oil companies. I visited 3-4 companies where they were converting into power on these waste materials. Simultaneously, I was trying to bring to India that waste material, making like a brick that I want to bring it here. But as he rightly said, when I bring it in container, the cost of my transportation 5 times more than the cost of the material and the production. So that's why the solution is, so we have to go in a bigger way, bulk, bigger way. If you bring, the transportation cost or shipping cost will come down drastically, which is the solution of the day. So the basic idea here is, our country requires this project, and my friend Mr. Pavan was telling the cost of this fuel, diesel today, which is much less, we are about 4 to 5 rupees less than the present market rate of the diesel in the pumps. So especially our country requires this today, especially industrialists require this today, and I hope if we go in the right direction with a lot of liberalization of this great country. Recently there was a report in our country that Telangana and Andhra are coming out with very open policies where without any red tapeism or without any this thing, because I always used to say when I was a minister, there is a single window clearance, but inside the window there are 100 windows were inside. So once you enter one window, ultimately we have to see inside there are 100 windows. So we have to simplify the procedure, which Telangana is one of the best report has come recently. Now Andhra Pradesh also trying. Same way Gujarat and other countries, other states also, including our Karnataka wanted to go very nicely. My present CM of Karnataka is talking very much about Israel, especially visited there. He wanted for agriculture purpose use this Israeli model. So like that, the thing we have to see the other good qualities and good things of the world and introduce in this country. This country is a great country. We are not running short of anything. But the only thing is, we have to work hard. We have to use sincerity. There is a saying, there is no substitute for sincerity and hard working. As rightly said, 2 things is very important for us here. One is cost of raw material. The technology is very fantastic. There should not be any problem. But once you put up the technology, the raw material is one of the major issues here, which we have to think 100 times, because every people will put in industry that if there is no raw material, then we'll have a problem. Marketing is not a problem, because our consumption in this country doubling every day, so we have to, it's very easy, and if you give me 4 to 5 rupees less than the per liter to the normal rate of our great IOC or other suppliers, automatically the marketing is not a big problem. But the only thing is here, one is raw material, second is, I am very sorry to say, there is working capital. Banking sector is not supporting the industries very nicely today, which everybody knows it, because I am heading this Karnataka State Industrial Wing of my party BJP. We are aware of it. So basically the finance, the banking sector, working capital and raw material. These 2 things we have to give a very important issue which we should think when we go for these industries. Otherwise, this industry, one of the best industry where we can think of today, it's a need of the hour. Every young entrepreneurs, youngsters, where can get a good employment. Also, we can get a good business. We can do this. This is a requirement of the day. So I should once again congratulate our Mr. Pavan, and a lot of people are technology people who can technically with the knowledge are speaking now. So I am not a technical man, but being a businessman and a politician, I have to be very open, saying that yes, we are in central government. I was coming out with all new policies. We will support on behalf of the government of India. We will support you for this industry. Whatever technical support is required, like zero import duty on this raw material, we can talk to the concerned people and with you, and we can see that what best we can do on this particular issue. Second thing is, as far as finance matter also, we have to be very broad-minded and we should be very clear. Plus, all the policies should be very easy. Like should not be any red tapeism or any single window means only single window should be there. So I'm happy saying that the recent study which has talked about Telangana and Andhra, I was very happy. The same way entire countries, all states will come out with the open policies with a supporting for the industries. Our country can go up faster than China and we can take a lead in the world. As you know, the president of this great country, ex-president of the great country, late Dr. Abdul Kalam, had thought of 2020 will be our best year for this country, where at the 2020 we will be the leader for the world, which the days are coming very soon. We are already in 2018, now only 4 years is left. So we have to work hard, we have to think of very fast, and we have to liberalize our policies, and we have to support the industries. And also, we should have a good tie-up with all the international players who are expert in the subject, so that we will reach the goal without any problems. And my young entrepreneurs should not discuss why I entered this line, why I entered this subject, why I taken up this business. We should not think of that. It is a good business. You should go in the right direction. Be sincere. Hard working is a solution, and we are with you. And on behalf of the central government, I can tell you that the Modi Sahib is thinking very deeply. This country should be #1 country in the world. As you know, every day we are seeing in the media that every day, every hour, every minute, he is only thinking of this great country. He is not bothered about anything else. Only thing is this country should come up, and our young entrepreneurs should come up, and we must get a good employment for the new generations who are every day passing out from the various degrees. So once again, I thank and I congratulate the Gogreen company which has made this nice, wonderful seminar for a day on this subject. Second thing is thanking them for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Shri Nagaraj Shetty sir, for delivering the keynote address to our delegates. And he clearly shared the knowledge so that where we can implement the ideas and we can take it to the further level. Thank you so much. So now it will be my pleasure to address vote of thanks to this inaugural session. I thank Shri Srinivas Mahendrakar, CFO of Gogreen, for presenting the welcome address. I thank Dr. Ahmed Tafesh. We glad to thank this representative from Israel. He spoke in detail about the enzyme and relationship of India and Israel. So I request Mr. Umesh to present a bouquet and a memento as a token of love and affection to Dr. Ahmed Tafesh, please. Please give them a big applause. So thank you for joining with us. Now I would like to thank Shri Gyan Chodhia from Indexone Infocon and Logistics Private Limited as a guest to the seminar. I request Shri Girish to present a bouquet and a memento to Shri Gyan Chodhia, sir. And I request Sri Savan to present a bouquet and a memento to Sri Nabin, Panda, please. For attending this seminar, and I request Deshan to present a bouquet and a memento to Sri Ravi, Kelkar, please. We wanted to thank our MD, Mr. Naveen Pawar, and I request Sri Hulkis to present a bouquet and a memento to Mr. Naveen Pawar, please. Krishna Sir Pawar, and I request Sri Santosh to present a bouquet and a memento to him, please. Chief guest of today's seminar, Sri Nagaraj Shetty, and I request Srinivas Mahendrakar to present a bouquet and a memento as a token of love and affection to him. Thank you, sir. Now I thank all the delegates from media and the press for attending this seminar. And I thank Gogreen team, and also I thank you all for this wonderful seminar today. So I would like to tell there will be a 15 minutes tea break for everyone, and after that we are going to start up the technical session. Thank you.
Hello. Please, thank you for everyone.
Combined form with glycerine, and these are called triglycerides. This can be made from the virgin oil. And now virgin oil has got one advantage, that it has got a very low free fatty acid content, less than 0.5%. So the manufacture is very easy, and you can do it with the base catalyst. And the other ones are the animal fats that are used, plus the frying oil that is used for frying of the potato chips and Kentucky fried chicken and all that. But those one contain some impurities like potatoes or water and some fat from the fat from the chicken or something that they use. The basic aim of biodiesel manufacture till now is to convert it into biodiesel and then use it as a fuel. If you purify it for consumption as an edible oil, it will be very difficult, expensive, and there will be a lot of other problems. But if it is a fuel, then it has got less problems. The edible oils in India are in short supply. We import about 45 to 50% of the edible oils, mostly from Malaysia, Indonesia, that is the palm oil. And the used cooking oil is not available in India because nobody has tried to do anything to collect the used cooking oil in a big way. Some companies which are now come up like McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and all that, they are collecting themselves and they are using it themselves also. But there are many other applications like potato wafers manufacturers, namkeen, kurkure and all those things. The used oil from them can be collected and it can be used for manufacturing biodiesel. The biodiesel is considered a clean fuel because it has got a built-in oxygen in it. And because of that oxygen, the conversion of carbon into carbon dioxide is more and less amount of carbon monoxide is formed. So it is considered as a clean fuel. Now the oil that we are using has practically no sulfur in that, no aromatic source in that. So it doesn't give out any sulfur dioxide or the particulate matter that we call as soot. The built-in oxygen is good because it burns the carbon completely. Now B20, that is biodiesel 20% and petrol diesel say 80% has got significant benefit as far as the environment is concerned. Now one problem with biodiesel is it has got a higher viscosity than diesel. But if it is blended up to 20%, the viscosity doesn't increase much and still it can be used. So that 20% biodiesel is mostly used all over the world. Now the engines can be designed to use 100% biodiesel also. Now in that case, the diesel pumping pump, that is the pump that pumps diesel into the engine, will have to have a higher force. Plus some of the gaskets that are being used for the engine, they will have to be replaced because currently some of them are rubber type and the rubber can dissolve in the biodiesel. So by changing over the gaskets plus the higher size of that diesel injection pump, the things can be converted for 100% biodiesel also. And in that case, Mahindra has taken the lead. And Mahindra Scorpio, this can run on 100% biodiesel. They are given the guarantee that it can run on 100% biodiesel also because they have put up a higher capacity pump and all rubber gaskets they are removed into some plastic like Teflon or something like that. So these are the two basic changes you have to do if you want to use it on 100% basis. Now this is the physical characteristics of biodiesel. The specific gravity as you see is 0.87 to 89 and that of diesel is about 0.9. So it is comparable with diesel. There is no problem with the specific gravity. The viscosity is slightly more 3.7 to 5.8 and in case of diesel it is 1 to 2. But if it is blended in smaller quantity, then there is no problem. C10 number is 46 to 70, it is more than that of diesel, so it is advisable. Now there are two heating values, one is higher heating value, one is lower heating value. This is the calorific value of in BTU per pound. Now this is 10% less than that of diesel. That's because it has got built-in oxygen. But this 10% less does not make much difference. And so this can be used with the diesel and you will not feel the difference. Actually, if you add biodiesel to the diesel, the pickup is very good in case of car. That's what we observed. Now sulfur is extremely low because there is no source of sulfur in biodiesel. The oil that we are using doesn't have any sulfur, so it is almost zero, or you can say 0.0024%. Now there are three important things, three important temperatures. One is cloud point, the other pore point, and another is crystal point. Now you must have seen with the coconut oil, in case of winter, it becomes cloudy. Say coconut oil can become cloudy at say 16 degrees also. So that is called as a cloud point. So if you use coconut oil for biodiesel, but that biodiesel will become cloudy at say 16 or 15 degrees. A pore point is a point at which it will become thick one, like a ghee. So it cannot flow at all. And the third point we'll see later. The iodine number, this gives the number of double bonds that are there in the oil. The more the number of double bonds, it is good for the oil because the more bond means the oil can remain liquid even at a higher temperature. So that will have a higher cloud point and a higher pore point. So iodine number should be as high as possible, but at the same time, because of more double bond, it can polymerize and create some problem. But that is not a very important problem. So most of the people specify that should be as high iodine number as possible. The density, as we have seen. Now, compared to diesel, these three other things are the oils. So you will find in case of oil, but the density is more than that of diesel. So the calorific value of oil also less. C10 number is also less. but the boiling point is very high. And in case of oil, there is a built-in oxygen. So percentage by weight of oxygen is 10 to 11%. So this particular thing helps in burning the fuel in a better manner. Now, till now we are using trans-esterification process. Now this is the one which is used for last 15 years. And most of the people are following it. Even with the enzyme catalyst, same process will be followed, only the catalyst will be different. So what happens in the trans-esterification is triglyceride, that is oil. This is converted to diglyceride and biodiesel. One fatty acid component from the oil, it gets dissociated and combines with methanol and forms biodiesel. And ultimately form diglyceride. Now this will also react with methanol, and one more fatty acid chain will be removed from that, and it will form biodiesel. Lastly, one chain that is remaining with the glycerine, so that will also react with methanol, and it will form biodiesel, and glycerine will be produced as a byproduct when the process is complete. So this is generally the trans-esterification we have been following for last, say, about 15 years. And as I said, in his case of the enzyme catalyst also, same process will be there, only the catalyst will be different. Now, we discuss the catalyst which is used for last 15 years. The most important is sodium hydroxide or the potassium hydroxide. Now, these two can be used with fresh oil. Now in US and Europe, they are growing, especially in US, they are growing soya. And they are not growing soya for oil, but for the soya bean. So soya oil is not important for them. And actually it's a nuisance for them, even in North America as well as South America. So in past, or even now also, they are using soya oil as a raw material for biodiesel. And soya oil contains very low percentage of free fatty acid. So it can very easily convert into biodiesel with the help of NaOH or KOH catalyst. Once you go for acid oil and use cooking oil and all that, the free fatty acid content goes up. And then in that case, using NaOH or KOH, this is a bit of a problem. Now both these are hygroscopic, that means they absorb moisture from the atmosphere. And when they absorb moisture from the atmosphere, when it is used as a catalyst along with oil, that water tries to hydrolyze the oil and form the free fatty acid. So as far as possible, these two should be packed in the packed bags or in packed drums and all that, and to keep it away from the moisture. Now, three types of grades are available in this catalyst. That is, one is the flakes. The flakes are actually made from the molten material, which is converted to small platelets with the help of a flaker. Then half pearls. These are made from the pearls which are 96% pure, and the small pearls are 99% pure. Now here you can use any one of them. Now in case of the other one, 96 and 97% pure, the impurity should not be water, right? It can be magnesium carbonate or calcium carbonate or anything, but or you can say magnesium hydroxide or calcium hydroxide, but not water. So you can use that also with 96 to 97% catalyst. The rest will be similar, but it will be less reactive, so it is not considered in the reaction process. Now the quantity of catalyst, traditionally over all the years, the basic quantity of NaOH required to convert 1 liter of oil into biodiesel is 3.5 grams. If there are no free fatty acids. All the free fatty acids are very low, say 0.5% of them. And you have to add some amount more to take care of the free fatty acids that are present in the oil. So the excess amount requirement, this is calculated by titration. Actually, it is simple titration. You make one normal solution of KOH, and then they dissolve the oil in some solvent like say acetone or something, and then titrate, and it will give you how much extra the NaOH or KOH is required. Now for this, as no free fatty acid the oil that you are using should have as low free fatty acid possible, but that is not always possible. And so in that case, some soap formation is there because the caustic soda reacts with the free fatty acid and it forms soap. And this soap ultimately gives a lot of problems for settling of the two layers. The top layer in that is biodiesel, the lower layer is glycerine. The separation of two layers is a bit difficult if there are more soap formation. So free fatty acids should be as less as possible. If you are using sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide as a catalyst. Now methanol is another raw material, and the stoichiometric quantity requirement, actually the quantity that is required for the reaction is 12.5% methanol by volume of the biodiesel. So for 1 liter of oil, you need 125 milliliters of methanol. That is the standard that is required to convert the 1 liter of oil into biodiesel. But to make the process go in the forward direction, you have to add some more methanol. So generally 75 to 125%, 75 to 125 milliliters of methanol is added per liter of oil. So that the reaction goes in the forward direction and the biodiesel formed is not decomposed into free fatty acid and glycerine again. So the total amount of methanol that is added can be from 200 to 250 ml per liter. The more methanol or the excess methanol, it also helps in the settling of the glycerine when we try to settle the glycerine from the mixture. And now you can reclaim the excess methanol that you are adding. The methanol boils at about 64.7, that is 65 degrees centigrade. So just by boiling it, it just evaporates and you can condense it with the cooling water and you can recover it. Now in case of methanol, there is no azeotrope formation. The azeotrope is the constant boiling mixture with water. Now if you are using ethanol, it forms a constant boiling mixture. The resulting vapor that you get with say ethanol, this is 95% ethanol and 5% water. So removing water from that becomes one more activity. But such a thing is not there in the case of methanol. So you get almost pure methanol by just boiling it out and condensing it. You can reuse it in the next batch. Now the salient features of the current biodiesel process. 90% of the reaction is complete within 1 hour. Now here we mix the sodium methoxide plus oil and then agitate it, say either by the agitator or by recirculation with the pump. And just after you reach the temperature of say about 60 to 65 degrees, within 1 hour, 90% of the oil is converted into biodiesel. So what we do, after 1 hour, we stop the process and we allow it to settle. So the most of the glycerine that is formed, this settles at the bottom and we drain out the glycerine. Once the glycerine is drained out, the reaction tries to go in the forward direction because there is no glycerine possible, no glycerine available to go the reaction in the backward direction. So after 1 hour, removing the glycerine that is formed is very important. Then once it is removed, we run the reaction for another 3 hours. And in these 3 hours, the reaction is almost complete. It can go up to 97.5 or 98.5%. Then after that, we again allow the glycerine to settle and remove it. And we dry wash it. Now, removing the glycerine in the second part. Some people are using the centrifuges also. These centrifuges are quite expensive. There are very high-speed rotating machines. And these are made in India by Alfa Laval. but since it is very, very expensive, many people go for settling by just allowing to settle for say some 8 hours or 10 hours or something. But if you use a centrifuge, it can be done within minutes. And then the dry wash has to be done to remove the catalyst, the caustic soda and the caustic sodium methoxide plus some soap form. This is removed by dry wash. The liquid biodiesel is passed through a column calcium silicate or magnesium silicate, and that those two chemicals, they absorb this caustic as well as soap, and those two components are removed from the biodiesel, and then it doesn't have any impurities in that. Now, this is regarding the biodiesel process. Now, after the biodiesel is produced, the most common ratio that we already discussed is 80% and 20%. I mean actually 80% petroleum diesel and 20% biodiesel. It's called a B20, and this is normally recommended. But the amount of biodiesel that will be produced in such a small quantity that even 1% or 2% will also be not possible. So these particular levels are very high, and as we go on and on, maybe after 10-15 years, we will be able to reach the level of 20%, because the diesel consumption in our country is so high that achieving 20%, we will have to produce a lot of biodiesel, and that will take quite some time, maybe say 10 years or so. Now, storage of biodiesel. Now we have the petroleum classes A, B and C. You must be knowing that it depends on the flash point of the fuel that are using. The petroleum class A is the one decided by the flash point. If it is less than 100 degrees Fahrenheit, then it is class A. Between 100 degrees Fahrenheit and 200 degrees Fahrenheit is class B, and beyond 200 is class C. Now in this case, biodiesel flash point is 147 degrees, so it is in class C. Which is same as diesel. So you can store it this in the same manner as you can store the diesel. You can mix it also with diesel, and then the storage and all that. The conditions for storage, especially the explosives department conditions for storage, these are the same as that used for the diesel. Now it is preferably stored in clean tanks and one that is not having rust and all that. And as for the explosive rule, if you store it over the ground, you need a lot of area around it. So to avoid that, if you use it, put them underground, then less amount of area is required. So many people use the second method, that is they store it inside the ground. And in some countries where it is too cold, they have to insulate it from outside. Plus they have to use some heating material, so like heating tape or steam heating or something like that, to keep it liquid. But such thing is not, the insulation and heating is not required in India, because in most of the parts the temperature doesn't drop to the level of say 10 degrees or so. Now handling of biodiesel is also same. It can be handled same as the way we handle the diesel. So it can be blended with diesel and sold as diesel. But it has got some problem with the itching. It may lead to itching. So when you mix biodiesel with diesel, you have to be very careful. You have to wear the hand gloves and all that. But once it is blended, you will not come in contact with the biodiesel at all. So it will be same as diesel. So once it goes to the storage tank, and then it will be pumped out of the dispenser. And in that case, you don't need to wear any hand gloves, and you can use it with the ordinary tool. And as I said, the explosive regulation, these are the same as those for the diesel, that is C class. The environment health effects. These effects are positive in case of say unburnt hydrocarbon. Now the diesel has got some aromatics, and when the aromatics burn, they give a lot of soot out of it. We have just seen in the earlier presentation that diesel give a flame, or that lamp gives a lot of soot. That is unburned carbon. So that is not there in case of biodiesel. Less amount of carbon monoxide is produced because there is an inbuilt oxygen in that. Plus the particulate matter, that is the soot that is going into the atmosphere. That is also reduced because of use of biodiesel. But in this case, biodiesel, the burning temperature is a bit higher, so bit more amount of nitrogen oxide is produced as compared to diesel. So this is one drawback of biodiesel, but it is not very significant as compared to the advantages. Now this slide we Dr. Tafesh has already shown that this is, with the help of this, most of the things are on the lower side. Yeah, now these are the properties of biodiesel, and these are compared with the Jatropha oil. Now you see the density is a bit lower, and you see the viscosity of oil is 50 to 32, while that of biodiesel is only 4 to 5, and that of diesel is 1 to 2. So it is comparable. If you add any oil to the diesel itself, then the viscosity of the mixture will go up say 8 or 10. But if the pump can the diesel injection pump, if it can take that much viscosity, then it can still work. But with this viscosity, 4.5 to 5.4, if you add it to the diesel, the ultimate change in viscosity will be hardly 1.5 or 1 centistole. So the same engine that we already have, this can take the effect. Now the flash point is 191 degrees in case of methyl ester and 190 in the case of ethyl ester. Now what is a flash point? Flash point is the temperature at which any fuel will form an inflammable mixture with air which will catch fire in the presence of a spark. Now our petrol engine is based entirely on this. The petrol is volatile and it can form an explosive mixture at a very low temperature, and then it goes to the petrol engine and with the spark it burns. So in this case, this is the methyl ester or ethyl ester. If you heat it to 190 degrees centigrade, then only it will be able to work to make a mixture in case of carburetor. So you find in the diesel engine there is no carburetor, but diesel is added in the engine when the air inside is very hot. Now the acid number in the Jatropha is quite high because now here one thing I would like to state, that all the edible oils are very stable. They don't dissociate to the extent that the non-edible oils dissociate. Now Jatropha, Karan, Kusum, Sal, Mahua, all these non-edible oils, they dissociate very fast. The worst case is the rice bran oil. Rice bran oil can dissociate within hours, and free fatty acid can go up to 50%. So but of course now they have developed a process to kill the lipase enzyme that is there in the rice bran oil. And now rice bran oil also can be made as an edible oil. Now the C10 number is 51 to 59. In case of diesel it is 47. That means it is more similar to the diesel that we are using. It's actually better than 10 carbon chains of diesel. It's the C10 number. C10 number is the percentage of 10 carbon chains in the diesel. Now, and most of the engines are based on that percentage. So in diesel it is 47%, here it is 51 to 59%. So this engine is better, so this fuel is better for that particular engine. Now carnitine carbon is that will remain in the liquid as a residue. So this is also not that significant, it is very small quantity, and some of it will remain in there. So from time to time we might have to drain out or clean the storage tank for diesel or the storage tank or the tank of the diesel trucks or diesel car. So this will settle at the bottom, and from time to time we can remove it. Then next thing, now the American standard, this specifies that this should be the criteria. The monoglycerides should be less than 0.55. The maximum allowable is 0.55. Diglyceride should be 0.19, and triglyceride should not be there. I mean, the oil should not be there at all. So these are the American standards that have been specified. So you can make the biodiesel as per these standards. So these three things you have to monitor when you test the biodiesel with respect to the American standard. Now the methanol content should be as low as possible because that lowers the flash point. Water should be as low as possible because the petroleum diesel that has a water content of less than 500 ppm. So it should be as low as possible. Now free glycerol is the free glycerin that remains in the biodiesel. If it is not properly separated, then some glycerin will remain in biodiesel. So that should not be more than 0.15. And the total is the sum of the monoglyceride, diglyceride, triglyceride and free glyceride. And it should not be more than 1.7%. Now phosphorus is one thing that can come from the oil that you are using. The raw oil has got some phosphates and some proteins also. So if they are not properly treated, then some phosphorus will enter into the biodiesel process and it will be ultimately shown in the results of the biodiesel. So it also should be as low as possible. And now the specific gravity wise, there is no problem, they are absolutely similar. Cetane number is also higher, that means more the useful component is more than that of diesel. The viscosity is higher, but if you have blended in small quantity, there is no problem. The distillation characteristics are entirely different because in case of diesel, the diesel is not one single product. It is a product which distills from one temperature to other temperature. While in biodiesel, the entire thing boils at one particular temperature because it's oil-based, it is not a mixture. So the distillation characteristics are entirely different. But that doesn't matter as far as fuel is concerned or the testing is concerned. The flash point is around 160 degrees, so that also not a problem. More flash point means better, less number of hazards. Cloud point, pour point and cold filter bugging point. These three are the major problems in this case. That these are the temperature at which these oils or these biodiesel made from those oils will try to solidify. So these three should be as high as possible. If you are using palm oil, these are very high. At 10 days, say at 16 to 20 degrees, the palm oil solidifies and the palm biodiesel also solidifies. So in the region like say Bangalore and all that, you can use it in the summer season very safe. But if the temperature goes say up to 10 degrees in winter, then this will create some problem. And this has got a very good oxidation stability also. It does not oxidize and it doesn't decompose at all if it is stored for a longer time. The iodine number, as I told earlier, this shows the number of unsaturated content of the oil and that of the biodiesel. The more iodine number, it is better because then in that case the one that we discussed, earlier, the cloud point, pour point and cold filter point. These will be these will be lower if the iodine number is high. So if the iodine number is more double bonds are there, then the oil or the biodiesel, it will remain liquid for a considerably low temperature. But because of double bond, it might polymerize to some extent, of course, but that is not a problem. Yeah, then the other problems are if the glycerin is not completely removed, this will separate out from the diesel and biodiesel there. It will settle at the bottom of the fuel tank. So from time to time, we will have to clean the tank to remove the glycerin from the tank. Then if the methanol is not completely or properly removed, then it will react or it will dissolve the natural rubber seals and gaskets, and it will create a problem for the engine. So now with the new engine, they are giving guarantee, they are replacing the rubber gaskets with the Teflon or some metal gaskets also. So once that is done, then this problem will not be there. Now the petroleum diesel has got water content of less than 500 ppm. So in this case also you have to maintain the water content to less than 500 ppm. Therefore maintaining this less than 500 ppm is not a problem. So, but ash content is a major problem because we are using solid metal, sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide catalyst. If that catalyst is not removed properly in dry wash, then the whole thing will go into the biodiesel fraction, and when it burns, it will form ash in that case. It will try to damage the engine. So soluble metallic catalyst as well as soaps, this will create problem if the biodiesel is not washed properly with the washed dry wash system. So these are some of the problems. This is a discussion for technicalities over what is the technical problems with the current availability of oil, current availability of the process. So this gives a brief discussion about the biodiesel. It doesn't cover any of the they don't cover the economic aspects or the marketing aspects. We will take up later on. So that ends with my discussion. If you can have any comment or any questions regarding technical things.
Thank you, sir. Just a minute, sir. Anybody has any questions in the audience?
Regarding your technical report, whatever discussion we have had with you, the basic idea is that most of the things are against the present system. In the sense, everything is negative. So now my point is very simple. Today, the vehicles which we are running on these Indian roads can accept this biodiesel straight away, or we have to require alteration in the engine and the parts of the vehicles. And we are not talking about mixing or amalgamation or anything. Straight away whether we can use biodiesel on the vehicles which are presently running in Indian roads. So can you clarify on that?
Yeah, some kits are available abroad for each and every, which are made of Teflon or something which you can replace. Then they give a higher size pump also, which you can replace with the ordinary one. But in India still we don't have any biodiesel and we are not using it regularly. This type of kits are not available. Once we start using biodiesel, these kits also will be available. And as I said, Mahindra, Mahindra Scorpio, they have done the required changes already. And these are very simple, they are not very difficult or expensive also. So right now they have done the changes in the gasket and the pump. And they give you a guarantee that you can run this on 100% biodiesel.
Production all over India for this biodiesel. Any R&D, research and development changes as suggested by you, how to overcome all these small difficulties, various technical data or various alterations, can we suggest with the basic point itself where biodiesel industry has to think of in the future?
The technical aspects are basically quality. It should be as per ASTM standard.
Not quality, sir, I am talking which we are not suitable for the present conditions.
The present condition,
when you compare with the diesel and a biodiesel, there are a lot of changes are there. How to overcome that? One, two, we are now thinking one single point. Instead of diesel, we have to use biodiesel. So how to overcome this and how best, because since the technical people are here, they are giving us a machinery. In that itself, whether they can alter these minor changes so that we will suitable for our vehicles can straight away use this biodiesel.
In the three temperatures that I said, that cloud point, core point and crystal point. Now these are possible.
Sir, which you made it very clear that cloud point and all. Because we were talking about the major our industry want to think on palm oil waste, palm oil byproduct, which you said is 100% not possible.
No, it is
palm
not.
oil get the same with the 16 degree or 18 degree, it gets color change or it get this thing like coconut oil.
No, in summer month it is not a problem. In case of winter month it will have some problem.
That means only I can run the vehicle 6 months, sir.
The 20% also, I think we are not cope up even the demand for 20% of our India's requirements actually. Even we achieve the 5% or 10%, I think it's a big achievement for India actually as a whole. Yeah.
And with 5% biodiesel blend, these problems will be reduced.
First of all, the country's total diesel consumption is 60 million tons. And actually 20% of that is coming culprit. That is the requirement, what rightly you have told. Now coming to technicalities, you really need to take up with auto industry to make some modifications. Like he has told, the gasket get dissolved in the methanol. Obviously a different type of gasket you have to use for B100. As far as B20 is concerned, it is already proved. It can be used. There is no technical modification is required. And 4 point, particularly the things which Mr. Leele has mentioned, that in winter season this may get jelly form or the pore because of that. There is also a solution to that also.
4 point depressions are available.
Yeah, that is exactly Mr. Kelkar knows it, that there are available of solution to every problem. So this particular, the 4 point thing. And one more thing I wanted to add. See, the current diesel specification of India, which BS4 and BS5, they are all going to 10 ppm sulfur. Okay. Now in 10 ppm sulfur, the major problem is lubricity. Incidentally, the lubricity is very good in this case. So adding biodiesel, we are also we are just coming over a better lubricity. So lubricity additives are particularly added because of low sulfur of new specification, which can be countered with a biodiesel addition. So it's a positive side. Now coming to 4 point, which is a real problem in winter season or sending biodiesel to North India. So that can be addressed with 4 point depression. I think Mr. Kelkar can give some idea on that.
Sir, on small battery will be controlled?
Yes, the particulate matter will be reduced.
To some extent it will be controlled.
See, Leele साहब ऐसा है कि regarding these cloud point, 4 point and low temperature applications, even in the diesel which we are supplying to high altitude areas to our army, we mix kerosene in that to reduce the point. The thing is, in biodiesel, if you want to reduce successfully, even if it is palm, no problem. You are saying that it is not useful because of the 4 point. If you use styrene malignant based 4 point depressants, only 0.2% or even 0.3%, your problem it will come down to -12. So that problem will be solved. It is not that it is you can overcome that problem. As far as gaskets are concerned, silicone gaskets is available. Even rubber parts you can change and you can use 100% diesel without any problem. Though government is not allowing, that is a different story, but it is possible. Thank you.
Can I say something? Malaysia and Indonesia, you have a lot of palm oil, and palm oil solidifies. So maybe some of the R&D that you need to focus on, maybe have some additives that goes into the palm oil to make it liquid even at low temperature. This would be an R&D project, for example. And the other things, up to 20% biodiesel. Remember, biodiesel is an excellent solvent. Excellent solvent. You should try it. If you put the biodiesel on a rubber polymer, it will dissolve it. Literally dissolve it. That's what happens if you use 100% B100 in the cars. The gasket is gone. And if you test for polymers inside the biodiesel, it's there. That's why you need to replace the gasket from a regular polymer into a fluorinated-based polymer. The fluoropolymer, which is a Teflon-based, as you mentioned, Satheesh, it is a very good polymer that resists the B100. But up to B1, up to B20, this solvency is not critical. If you go beyond 20, then the solvency increases, and therefore you have to be careful with the gasket and the pump. Thank you.
Yes,
Sir, excuse me. Sir, you are saying about palm oil. If you use palm oil, byproducts like stearin and PFAD, still there is a problem in them.
It is very high in that case. So it will give the same problem.
Same problem.
Palm stearin is the one that settles down in the palm oil storage tank. So that will also give the same problem. But in some countries, as I said, in Indonesia, Malaysia, the temperature is always high, so they don't have any problem. Even in South India also, Chennai, Kanyakumari, even in Bangalore also, this problem will not be there. And with a small addition of 4.8%, you can still do it. So palm oil is available in plenty, and we will have to focus all these things based on palm oil only at the present.
Any other questions? Sir, I have a question. This is actually from the floor. Anybody else has anything to ask? Please, sir.
I have a question, please.
Now the truck and car owner, they are worried that if the truck goes somewhere and then gets stuck there, he will be in trouble. So they are hesitant to use this biodiesel. So those who are having a stationary engine like diesel generating plant, they are biodiesel manufacturers, they are delivering biodiesel to their gate. And in that case, if you want to buy diesel from the oil company, you have to go to oil company with 100% payment as a draft, and then they will give you, and then after 8 days they will give you the delivery. Here, the DG set user, they will get the delivery at their doorstep. While diesel is available at the petrol pump, the car and truck engine people, they will hesitate to buy it. Petrol pump. Once there is a big line at the petrol pump to buy diesel, the people will go to buy diesel. But till that time, they will hesitate to buy diesel. And the most important,
I just wanted to know how well it blends, because there is a viscosity difference between the petrochemical diesel and the biodiesel. So I wanted to sell the biodiesel to the truck owners. For example, if I give a door delivery to him, how do we mix it? Whether I have to put first biodiesel and then the petrochemical diesel, or what I have to do? How would it may not cause any problem if if I wanted to mix it outside and then or directly I can feed it to the truck.
Yeah, you can. The mixing can only be done by the oil companies.
Yeah,
so what you can do is you can add one carb biodiesel in the tank of the truck, and then you add diesel. The diesel will come at a good force, and it will mix the whole thing together. So that will be the mixing.
Can sell, it is very clear. Can you please 20% divide is there. Biodiesel manufacturer can sell. That clarity is there.
So now they are not mother.
See, questioner asked that what will happen about this 20% mixing, how we can do it. Government of India जो policy है उसमें last सर्कुलर में clearly लिखा था कि biodiesel जो है आप डायरेक्टली नहीं बेच सकते, but you can 20% करके it can be sold either by the oil companies or biodiesel manufacturer. It was very clear. So you can mix it.
So I am a biodiesel manufacturer. I wanted to sell it. I wanted to sell it, doing the blending. Yeah, I have to buy a diesel. For that, I have to get a license to store it. Right? Yeah, then only I can use it. Without that, I cannot provide. Yeah. So for that, do I need any agitator, or just by pouring it, it will mix it, or what?
Yeah, mix it with agitator, with circulation also you can mix it.
When they face the oil, this petrol and diesel crisis in their country, and Brazil is a tropical country, and India also is a tropical country, and with a similar kind of weather. And how do you compare India with Brazil at this point of time when we are debating on the uses of biodiesel at P100 level?
That is ethanol, sir, not
Brazil is using alcohol in oil also. They don't have use it along with the soybean oil.
Yeah. That is they are using
For further making ETN, they have been doing. Actually, the government policy also made a lot of difference. Their government had taken lead since 1970 to add for a very long time, say from 1970. Though it was a loss-making loss subsidy and forced also. So they have been doing for a long time. So such a thing needs to be done in India also. Some sort of subsidy or forcibly they will have to do something. But for that matter, biodiesel should be available in the first place.
In India right now we don't have any blending rule. This is the problem. He said we need to involve the public, not just the companies. The public need to be involved so that when you say 20%, it will involve everybody. Everybody can make biodiesel and everybody can implement the blending, the mandate of 20% in India. Therefore, the industry will really boom. Right now, yes, no, no, yes, we are not sure. Sell, don't sell, make it, don't make it, we are not sure. In Brazil, it started with 2% about 10 years ago. 3 years ago, I was in Brazil, it was 7% blending rules. And they were supposed to implement it to 10% by the year 2020. They already implemented 10% last year. They were supposed to be waiting until 2020 to make 10%. The 10% you can check on this, on record, 10% was already implemented in Brazil last year. And that's what we need to do here. We need to really implement the 10, start with 5, 10, 15, 20, but at least start with something that really mandates that everybody can participate in this.
Initial capacity of the biodiesel production we have to start with?
From 1 ton to 100 tons. Okay. But the viability depends upon the availability of raw material. So if you have a lot of raw material available, you can go for 30 tons, 100 tons also. But if the raw material is not available locally, then you will have to go for the lower size. But going for the lower size, 1 ton to 10 tons, that is actually a very small capacity. And for that you might get the raw material, but you may not get the economic efficiency in that case. Plus you may not get the proper quality of the product. So the higher the size of the plant, you will get better economy plus the quality of the product. So the entrepreneur, you have to first decide how much oil you will get, and then only you can decide what capacity you can go for.
Only the importing of the material will be good, or you can the local material is available?
Again, there is a problem that imported used cooking oil, the duty on that is same as that the fresh oil, 115%. So if you import used cooking oil from anywhere, the price of used cooking oil is more than that of diesel. So it is not viable. So you have to collect used cooking oil or the acid oil internally. You have to collect it from inside India, and then only you can produce something. So importing of used cooking oil is not option. Now last month I had gone to Dubai. The one fellow is collecting used cooking oil there. And he said his oil is having only 1% free fatty acid. So I said 1% free fatty acid is edible oil. Here in India, it is legally edible. But they are discarding it because they are following the American standard. So if we import the used cooking oil at 1%, the whole thing will get adulterated with the fresh oil, and people will start using it for frying and all that. So that is the reason why the government has put such a high duty on that they are not distinguishing between fresh acid as well as used cooking oil.
As far as petroleum products is concerned, they are not applicable for GST. Is biodiesel applicable for GST?
You have to be louder, sir.
Is biodiesel applicable for GST as far as petroleum products is concerned?
Yeah, GST is there.
For biodiesel? Is that we use it for industries is 12%?
12% GST.
For industries?
Yeah.
And for vehicles?
The GST is on the product.
Yeah.
On the product.
So GST is single, whether you use for the DG sets or...
But I am framing it for them. Actually, we are seeing so many advantages of biodiesel as against regular high-speed diesel, etc. We are seeing so many plus points. They were asking us, why is it not a big industry even now? Why are we talking about developing this industry into a big thing, etc.? What is the problem? Why is it not become a big industry already?
Right now,
we need some thoughts of yours on this.
No, right. Oil is the king. If you collect the oil, people will come to you, you give me the oil. No? People from all over the world ask us that we want so many tons of oil and all that. I tell them, if I got the oil, why should I give it to you? I'll do it myself. So it is the oil that is the king, not the biodiesel. You collect the oil and then you can do anything. You can produce it, you can sell it. But if you don't collect the oil, then you can't do anything. And this particular thing is missing in here. And one more thing, we are going by the calculations of the Americans that they say that so much of fresh vegetable oil consumption in India, and so 10% of that should be used cooking oil and this and that. But in our country, we are using the vegetable oil to produce the tadka. When we extract the sesame and all that, and all the spices in tadka, in the oil, and that oil goes along with the vegetable or the dal, and it cannot be recovered. Only that used for the frying can be recovered and can be used. So that is a very tiny fraction. So just by calculating it is not going to help.
Sir, there are 2-3 things. One is ethanol. Only public sector unit, only PSU companies are using the ethanol, which is they are collecting from the sugar mill. That is number one. Number two, we are net importer of edible oil.
Yeah, 50%.
And number three, our culture is totally different. We are using the frying oil more than 6 to 8 times. While in Europe, China and America, they are using only for once. So that's why they use cooking oil, they are getting more and more. It is impossible in India. So time will take place for changing the culture. So it is not easy. Why? Because the raw material is not available.
So there's a big difference between Europe and India, sir. We have a billion with us.
But that's hope for this, as sir said.
Previously, the oil companies were saying that you sell biodiesel to us at 26 rupees and 50 paise because that is the real price of the diesel and rest all are the taxes. But now you can sell it at a higher price, so that itself counts as a subsidy.
Like animal fat. Tomorrow if I get Jethro oil, day after tomorrow like this brown grease, what is the impact on my manufacturing activity?
Actually, Jethro, Karan, Neem, Kusum, Sal, these are seasonal crops. When the harvesting is done for 2 or 3 months. So these are available only for 2 or 3 months. Okay. While the used cooking oil or the acid oil is available throughout the year. So that is the advantage.
No, on the impact on the manufacturing activity, does it going to hamper my plant or it will not hamper any?
No, it is absolutely same. There is no problem whatsoever.
And the second question is that this B20, can it be pitched against people, industries which are using this furnace oil?
No, furnace oil is too cheap, so it is not worthwhile adding it to this.
No, not adding, sir. Like there is a market which still uses furnace oil for their burning purpose.
No, furnace oil price is half that of a diesel, so there is no point in adding this to furnace oil. It can be added, technically there is no problem, but commercially it is not viable. Biodiesel manufacturer himself cannot blend. So they have now come to conclusion that unless it is done, it cannot be.
Okay, thanks. Actually, policy says that biodiesel manufacturer can sell it to oil companies. But आज तक अगर कोई भी बंदा कहते हैं now इतना इसे accept करेंगे. It is very clear. So government policies are on paper, policies बहुत कुछ रहता है. Actually, when we go to there, they will ask so many queries. It will be difficult to sell to them. It is very practical. But the policy says you yourself can sell. That is there.
But they will apply entire invoice to them.
Yes, that they will accept.
Total 110 questions. So lifelong he cannot supply them.
Yes, correct. That is the gist of it. Thank you.
They can be overcome. But the problem of nitrogen oxide cannot be overcome. It will be there.
When the full 100% biodiesel cannot be used in vehicles and all the thing. It requires some adjustments and is it that much costlier to do the adjustments?
No, the adjustments are not that costly, but as I said, the vehicle user, he will not use it till he gets the diesel and the petrol pump because it is risky.
That means if biodiesel is available plenty, then people can go for the changes, you mean to say, correct?
Yeah, some gasket might have to be changed.
That is minor, no? That is minor. When he is going to get benefit of the price.
Yeah, one biodiesel is available plenty. The car manufacturer or the truck manufacturer himself will do the changes. As in case of Scorpio, Mahendra has already done it.
That's what I'm telling. And the B6 and B4, what is the difference?
Which one?
That standard B6, B4 standards. Suppose whatever the biodiesel we are producing it, is it the quality of B6 or B4? BS4, sorry, BS4.
No, the biodiesel we are manufacturing is as per the American standard. BS and all is for the Indians. That's what I feel. BS standard is not for all fuel, but it is for the engines.
Okay. And if the American standard, Europe standards are there, which
Yeah,
is the best suitable for India.
Yeah, American standard is there, EN standard is the European standard, the Indian standard is also there. But most of the people are manufacturing as per American standard because in that case you can sell it to US also and to many other countries. So American standard is more popular.
It's more of a comment I wanted to make. It's an excellent platform. We are talking about the entire ecosystem. We have talked about the raw material challenges which we have. We have a technology to adopt onto it. And we also know the kind of pros and cons between the biodiesel and ethics. To mention, we come from a Center for Nano Material Science. This is the nanotechnology research group. We have a specific patent of using algae in terms of as a kind of a source. And also we have the seaweeds, which is at the laboratory level. And what we really require is a platform where we say, okay, we have a lab level kind of patents with us. We require a pre-production to say that there are multiple combinations of sources of which can be the source, different oil and locally available raw materials. So this is something which we have to put into the ecosystem to say we need to have the R&D also to be part of the game.
What are your questions?
No, what is the question? What I'm saying is what is missing in the whole discussion which we had, we would also need to get in and kind of, I mean, it's more of a comment than a question.
Yeah, we'll take it separately.
In terms of algae, of course, as you know, a lot of petrochemical companies like the Chevron and the Exxon are putting millions of dollars. I know Exxon putting $600 million on the algae project in order to extract out oil. I'm not talking about the beta-carotene, which is nice. I'm not talking about the antioxidant X-xanthine, which is the best antioxidants for our body. I'm talking about the oil that can be produced from algae in order to make biodiesel. Right now, the oil is very expensive. So it is the right path, but until we have the right biotechnological engineering to be able to produce oil from algae cheaply, we have way to go. Maybe in 10 years or so. But it's the right path.
India, regarding the revenue part is concerned, it is very catchy. It says that there are two slots of production units here, 10,000 per litre and 30,000 per litre. And there is an assurance of buyback guarantee. So is that addressed earlier? I just want to know that the company has given assurance and there already the agreement is there in that of a buyback guarantee. That's something which is very catchy and that has attracted a lot of us. Ultimately, we need to know the guarantee of assurance of investments.
About the ecosystem and what the company can offer in return. So, Mr. Gyan,
yeah, actually, biodiesel industry, it is an unorganized sector actually. There is no big players in the biodiesel industry at this moment. Now, actually the governments were also not serious about the biodiesel industries maybe 1 year before or 2 years before. They make the policy maybe 2 years before, 4 years before, but it was only papers. Now, as per the last discussions, what the policy come out in the month of June, only this last month only, I think government of India is very serious about the biodiesel industries now. Not only the pollution part, but they want to be a more dependent, they want to reduce their dependence on the import sides also. Even the 20% biodiesels, the India can go for a 20% mixing of the biodiesels. I think India can save a huge foreign exchange for the country. I think the time has come that also for our sides, for the industry sides also, we should have a one platform where we can approach to the central governments and state governments for the interest of the country and for the investments point of view. Anyone who is going to put the investments, he has to see the returns also. So I think we have to come up with some one platform or one association, strong association, to represent to the government of India and state governments for the benefits and to treat this as going to be a big industry. It's a startup actually, it's a startup only. So we have to join our hands also, and it should be treated, maybe small biodiesel industries are there for 10 tons, 15 tons, 20 tons, but there is no big players in the industry right now. So the time has come to join the hands, and I think the government is also very serious to give a lot of facilities to the biodiesel industries. That's also already mentioned in the policy also. Yeah. So I think this is the first platform where we are using to have interactions with the all prospective players in the biodiesel industries actually. So after the lunch session, we are going to discuss, and I suggest that Mr. Nabin Pavan take the initiative to head a good association where we is represented with the whole part of the country, different interested people in some technical persons, some commercial persons, but the industry fellows persons, who have a good platform and join the association who can represent on behalf of the biodiesel industry to state governments, and as well as talk to the central government and even for the public sector undertakings also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your wisdom. You are probably the most experienced biodiesel in the group today.
One thing I want to tell to Nabin Pavan that he has started a very good initiative in this case, and what I want to advise is lage raho Mumbai.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Reddy, would you like to say a few words, sir, please?
I hope we have given a lot of inputs on technicality, technical aspects. All the delegates, speakers, and dignitaries who are come over different capacities. I'm here representing a voluntary sector. It is a entirely opposite to biodiesel. Not against biodiesel, but technical aspects I'm talking. I think it's a need of our to think that alternative aspects. Now we are all facing problem at urban and rural. There are different problems. In problem there are three types. That is human-made, nature-made, and God-made. God-made, of course, God will take care. Nature-made, of course, nature will take care. We are all discussing human-made mistake or problem. Why you require biodiesel? Why you require a fuel to live? There are a lot of examples that we can live without fear. But to challenge global issues, to identify ourselves globally, and to measure our standards, we require fear. To economic growth, developmental growth, of course, even a universal growth. Biodiesel is an alternative. It is not a natural phenomenon. So we are just thinking about how best we can alternate diesel as a petroleum product. So how to alternate it? This aspect was not there in last 10 years or 20 years because we are with limited consumption.
So they have amended a law saying that they can use B and C for ethanol and molasses. Second stakeholder may be investors. Lot of investors are going towards other productions where now all the investors has to come to this side. There are good opportunity, a new opportunity, a new invention is, a new challenge is been opening up. Most of the entrepreneurs who are thinking to invest is a new opportunity to make an investment. For them also is required a lot of awareness. Number thirdly, technical beings. Many will go for computer software engineering. Many opt for software engineering. But very few percentage like in mechanical, industry, chemical will opt. Probably 5 to 10% personnel will opt for engineering. Now that number has to be increased. When we say 80, 20 or 100, B100 or B80, B20, probably this engineering section also need to have more chemical, mechanical, industrial engineering. They are also, so it's a business. So whatever we produce, that we are thinking whether it is a private customer or a sector, here and there they have started, like by a bus or some diesel. Still they have questions. Can I use this biodiesel for my? There also we need to have more awareness. Who goes lot of raw materials on it because it's agro-based. Biodiesel is most on agro-based, not on chemical-based. So farmers also need to create a lot of awareness at the grassroots to grow more raw material related, biodiesel raw material related plants, crops, vegetables, all such. I think financial institutions need to relook. Challenges are there. So there also need to be have awareness. So in our challenges, of course, in our research and development also need to address this biodiesel. So since it is a new aspect need to be addressed by your R&D, that is research and development. There, amongst all these stakeholders, these need to be at the grassroots level. 80% they are working at the rural area. So definitely this biodiesel related raw material that where we can get, so we can create a lot of awareness through these voluntary. So introduced to Go Green and Go Think. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I now request Mr. Pavan, our director, to give a moment to. Start the second technical session. We will talk financial viability. Welcome once again. We'll continue with the full one-day seminar. I think this is one of the presentations that some people have been looking forward to. What is the financial viability of the biodiesel industry? The person to present will be Mr. Srinivas Mahendrakar, our Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Srinivas. To chair the session, we have Mr. Nitin, our Company Secretary. Please, sir. And as a special guest, we have Mr. Srikant Shah.
Delegates and my colleagues, it's very hard to present a paper after having heavy lunch. Okay, it's a task. Friends, infinite things we have, infinite things we don't have. It's not what we have, it is how we use what we have. We have many things in our life, many capacity, many resources, but having resources doesn't make anything. We have to make use of those resources and strength. Today our topic is biodiesel industry, challenge and opportunity. Friends, today I am going to share you few financial things, and my topic is on biodiesel industry financial viability. Before I start my presentation, I would like to share few statistics to you. Start my presentation, I would like to share few statistics which may be important for your decision making to start biodiesel industry or biodiesel business as a whole, you may take it as. Friends, in India, mainly we are using two fuels, in fact 3, diesel, petrol and gas, out of which diesel plays a very important role because it consumes a lot. So out of diesel, 70% of the diesel is consumed for transportation sector, out of which, let me share few data. 13% of diesel consumed for private cars, 8.94% for commercial cars, for trucks and all 28%, buses 9.5%, railways they use 3.24%. Similarly, when we take on sectorial basis, for agricultural purposes we use 13% of the diesel, for industrial consumptions we have 9%, and for industrial genset purpose 4%. Friends, why this diesel industry is growing? Because of this. Just see this presentation. The annual consumption of India is roughly about 90 billion liters now, and as per expectation, in the year 2030, it may reach up to 150 billion liters. You see the potentiality of this dependency. Just go through this very interesting statistics. Why I am sharing these statistics? Because the usage of this diesel is increasing because of the increase in the population of our vehicles. Delhi alone, we have a car population of 21.72 lakhs. Bangalore stands second, it's higher than Mumbai, It's really very interesting. We have 8 lakhs cars. In Chennai, it's 6.5 lakhs. Mumbai, it is 6.17. That's in 4th place, and in Hyderabad, 5.5 lakhs. See, for this, we need to pump fuel. I would like to share one more interesting statistics that's of Bangalore. In the year 1971, our total vehicle population, it was about 16.64 lakhs. It rises to 69 lakhs in the year 2017, and expected in the year 2022 is 1 crore vehicles. See, normally diesel is used broadly for these 5 sectors or 5 purposes. And this is one more statistics may be useful for you to take decision. See, we are using diesel. We have to depend. There is no other road. There is no alternative. But there are some hopes where you can curb the pollution. Just have a look on this gas emission. If you use gasoline, what would be the effect? Next comes CNG, next LPG, diesel, ethanol, B20, next diesel, hybrid, electric, and B100. Just see these statistics. I'll skip this and I'll go for the next slide. See where we stand as of today now. Just see, I'm just breaking this. You just see the entire picture of the world and where we stand. Where we are, it's almost an alarming stage. See, the solution is here. We can partially use biodiesel and bring this emission level to the greater extent. There are so many advantages of biodiesel. You might be knowing, you're all expert in this. You have a knowledge of all these things. I'm just sharing with you. I'm not going to highlight each and everything because my key area is finance. I'll stress more on that. You just have a look. Death because of pollution. In China, it's about 1.8 billion, and in India, it is 2.5 million. And emission can be reduced with biodiesel with the statistics. So the question is, what we have? Do we have any solution for this? From Gogreen, we have some solution for this. We are into business of biodiesel. At the same time, it is our responsibility to take care of the nature, to take care of the pollution level. See friends, to start any industry, 4 areas are very key. First one is finance. Until you get the finance, you cannot start anything. Even technology, raw material, marketing is all secondary. Prime is what? Finance. Morning, sir, Gyan Chodhia sir, he was explaining why we are launching new company. We are launching new company in association with Indexone Info and Logistics Private Limited in order to cater the needs of raw material. Why we are stressing, why we are exclusivity of opening one private limited company to take care of the raw material? Because the myth in biodiesel industry is procurement of raw material. I think you all agree with me, because unless you procure raw material, you cannot do anything. See, procurement of raw material is very important. I am going to highlight on this also. Technology that we already discussed in the morning session, Mr. Ahmed Tafesh from Israel has explained elaborately how cost can be reduced with available latest technology, that is enzyme technology. In detail, Mr. Satheesh has explained about the technicality of the biodiesel industry. I am not going to touch on that point. And finally, the last thing is marketing. See, you may be good in technology, you may be good in procuring raw material, you are excellent in finance, unless marketing is done, you mean nothing. So marketing is very important to run the cycle of business. See, working capital is very important in business. To cycle the working capital, you need to roll the finance, and to roll the finance, you have to have a good procurement of raw material as well as marketing. Then only your cycle runs without any interruption. See friends, as I said, for challenge to start an industry, you name it, these four things are very important: finance, technology, raw material procurement, and marketing. I would like to start straight away with the marketing. On the reverse part of it, finance I will touch later. Procurement of raw material also I will touch it later. But I would like to start with marketing, because you have to make sure yourself that your product is sold completely, immediately after completion of your production. If you keep one day idle, it will cost. So this is a liquid product, this is a highly demanding product, this is a basic product for all of us, and it comes under essential commodity. So this is very important, that marketing you can do so, but you have to sell it at a profit is a challenge. So we have a model for that. See friends, from Gogreen, we have a complete setup of business. We help you in procuring, so getting a finance. So we'll prepare a project report and give it to you. You can submit to the bank. If you clear the bank formalities, you will get the finance. Soon after that, you need a technology to build a plant. For that, we are giving 100% technology what we have right now with us, and that technology will go on upgrading as and when we progress. We are having a tie-up with the Israel company Transbiodiesel. Mr. Ahmed Tafesh is with us. So we are entering into the enzyme technology. It's a very advanced technology. First time in India, we are introducing this technology. With the introduction of this technology, the the cost of the production will scale down to the greater extent, and the quality of the fuel you'll get at par with the international product. See, at the same time, marketing is very, very important. If you set up a product, biodiesel plant, from Gogreen, we guarantee for having a buyback agreement. What is buyback agreement? See, this is an agreement between the proposed manufacturer and Gogreen, wherein we enter into the agreement of taking the entire manufactured product from at one particular price. The price is prefixed. See, we supply raw materials to you. You make a production. To make a production and technology we will give, and at the end of the day, you will get the product, and we are ready to lift the product at a profit. So, at what profit we are lifting? Just have a look on this. Friends, we are giving 3 rupees net profit. What is the net profit? It's all very scientifically, very technically, and with taking all the parameters into consideration, we did it. So we are giving 3 rupees net profit. Net profit means gross profit is different and net profit is different. It's visible. A gross profit is different and net profit is different. So I mean to say that 3 rupees profit we are giving you, taking the consideration of manufacturing cost, administration cost and overall cost, excluding depreciation. So all operational cost, including administration and everything we have taken into consideration. Now the question is, you have to arrive the cost of production, then only you can add the profit. The question is, what is the cost of production? You may say one figure and we may say one figure. If you ask to calculate 100 chartered accountants, so 100 figures will come out. I am sure. But in order to avoid the confusion, we have a final arrival of what is cost of production. We set a parameter for raw material. Assume you are entered into an agreement with Gogreen and we are committed to supply raw materials to you at a certain price, the price prevailing on that particular day. You have to add cost of production for that. So after that, you will be having the exact figure, raw materials plus cost of production is total cost for you, and we will add 3 rupees to you as a profit and we will lift the material. So that means the debate comes, what is the raw material price? It's very simple. Since we are supplying raw materials to you, at the morning we quote one price for a raw material. Suppose if I quote 42 rupees is the base price of lifting the raw material, and if you are getting a raw material somewhere else for 40 rupees or 38 rupees, you may take that. But we will consider the cost of raw material as 42 only instead of 38 or 40, whatever you procure. So whatever we committed for that price is stick on, we will take that price as a base price. For that, invariably, what would be the cost of production? So as per our scientific calculation, involving all financial jumblings, we arrived the total cost of the production was somewhere around 3 rupees 25 paisa. We escalated up to 4 rupees. We took all the parameters into consideration and we arrived a justifiable 4 rupees production cost. See, raw material, we all know what is the raw material. Today, if you press the order morning raw material price, you will get 4 rupees is the cost of production and plus 3 rupees. We add up and we will be lifting the raw material. This is the simple formula at the end. Present rate of raw material, that are prevailing raw material cost plus 4 rupees production cost plus 3 rupees profit we add. See, the question is, we supply raw materials to you and we have an agreement with you to supply raw material. The thing is, we quote a price in the morning that for this price we will be able to procure the raw material. And if you say your price is high, then you can procure raw material from other source or other persons. We don't mind. See, these 3 P's are very important: profit, purpose and payouts. So profit, as we said, 3 rupees, 4 rupees we take as the cost of production and we add the raw materials and the sum of this is sales. So the profit is 3. The purpose is very simple. Gogreen always believe in ecosystem. We want to, we are not only planting the machinery to you, you are the, soon after entering the buyback agreement, you will be associated with us. See, in order to avoid the contradictory, we supply raw materials against cash and we lift the entire what you produced against cash only. There will be no credits. See friends, as of today in India, the procurement of raw material channel is totally in unorganized sector. There is no organized sector in India to procure raw material. There is no, see for example, if you take rice business, soya business, there is a systematic channel for supply. For biodiesel is concerned, it's totally unorganized. See, on the broader angle, we saw from that we are making this unorganized sector into a sector organization, sector channel for distribution of raw materials. Raw material is available in India, but we are not being able to get the raw material. You might be using, so sir, simply in India we are wasting the oils. We are throwing the oil. We are not making use of the available resources. There are plenty of resources. When you are walking on the street, you will be finding so many seeds simply wasting. But we are not making use of that. Why we are not making use of that? A person who is collecting where he has to sell, there is no specific market, there is no specific channel, nothing is there. So from Gogreen, we are making this unorganized sector into a sectoral organizing, and we are framing the entire system, including used cooking oil. From Gogreen, we already started this application friends. From Gogreen, so far as contribution, the entire channel into an organized channel. See friends, for any agreements, there are some star mark applicable. But what is applicable, I will be explaining right now. So, in a month, how many days? 30 days. We are committed to supply, start a new industry. How much square feet of land is required and basic requirements. You might be knowing all these things. There are so many variants. You can start with 10,000 liters a day capacity plant, 30,000, 50,000, 75,000, 1 lakh. Based on that, this much of land is required, and the built-up area is around 3,000 to 6,000 square feet. Okay, friends. I would like to start straight away with the finance. See, Government of India has taken the initiation to boost biodiesel industry. Biodiesel policy has come out, on, I think it's on 4th July 2018. So government is giving huge support to biodiesel industry. So before that, there was a scheme called Startup India scheme. The biodiesel industry is coming under Startup India scheme. If you register under Startup India schemes, you will be getting all these benefits. Straight away, I will start with the finance. Oh, friends, I will be taking some parameters into consideration. This entire, my explanation is stick on to 30,000 liters per day production capacity plant. To have that, you require land. I have not taken land into consideration because you may take land at 10,000 rupees also and 10 crores also. I have excluded, and you can take the land on lease basis also. The entire project to 6.79 crores. It excludes cost of land. So building, you have to have 3,000 square feet built up area. For that, with all civil construction and all, approximately it may go to about 63 lakhs. 63 lakhs, you can take it back. Out of this, you can scale down to 63 lakhs because you can take input credits. Electrification, you may require 15 lakhs. At least you should have one vehicle which may cost you about 25-20 deposits. Some electricity deposits and all is may require 15 lakhs. And for working capital, you need to have at least 1.5 crores. So when all put together, you have to require 6.79 lakhs to start this biodiesel industry of a capacity of 30,000 liters per day. So for that, I'm going to take 4 crores as a term loan. 1 crore loan is required for working capital, and a balance 1.79 crores I'm putting out of my packet. That is my contribution. So this is the rough cost of production and pumping of fund. Land, the minimum requirement is 12,000 square feet. You need to have an industrially converted land for that. it should be convenient for transportation and all. And the minimum built-up area for setting up of plant is 3,000 square feet, and the approximate cost of construction would be around 50 lakhs. So far as machinery is concerned, it's totally advanced machinery, fully integrated machinery. It's a multi-feed plant. You can operate this plant with any of the ingredients in any raw materials which is used for production of biodiesel. You have to set up a lab, power requirement, water not that much, and working capital. I always prefer to have at least 5 to 10 days stock. It comes to around 1.5 to 2 crores. So before I explain the profitability angle, the assumption is in a month, maybe 30 days, I've taken 25 days production. I took 80% as a capacity utilization the first year. Income tax, I assume it is 30%. For private limited companies, straight away it comes, and if it is an individual on slab basis. But in order to avoid that, I took this consideration on GST. So far as profit is concerned, straight away I go to the statistics. See, we give 30,000 capacity plant, and if you run at 80% capacity for 25 days for 12 months, it works up to 72 lakhs liter. And straight away, before depreciation and interest, you will get a profit of 2.16 crores. Just have a look on this. Shall I go to the next slide? See, you're taking a loan, term loan, you're taking both term loan as well as working capital loan. So in this explanation, I took 4 crores for term loan, 1 crore for working capital. Both the cases, I assume interest may vary from 12 to 13%. Repayment, I took as 6 years. Repayment holiday is for 1 year. Say, as I said, 30,000 capacity of the plant with 80% utilization of the availability of capacity with 25 days working day. For 12 months, it works out to 2.16 crores profit, out of which in the first year, I took 5 crores, both term loan as well as working capital. Interest comes to 65 lakhs. So profit before depreciation and tax is 1.56 crores. Depreciation alone comes 1.2 crores. So profit before tax is 31 lakhs and tax comes 10 lakhs. So original cash profit is not 21 lakhs, it is 1.46 crores. That is a cash profit. See, you are getting a cash profit of 1.46 crores in the very first year. And what is your investment? You have taken the loan for 5 crores, you leave it. But the part of investment what you did is 1.79 crores. So far as the cash profit is concerned, after depreciation it is less, but before depreciation, so far as the cash profit is concerned, it works out to 82% return on investment before depreciation in the very first year. Friends, for first year, I am not going to pay any installments. I am paying only interest. So for the second year, I have to pay installments, and installments starts from second year to 7th year, because I have taken the loan for 6 years. So second year, same formula, assume same capacity, 80%. I am not raising the capacity. How much is the profit? 2.16 crores, interest 65 lakhs. Before depreciation and tax, it comes to 1.56 crores. Depreciation comes 95 lakhs on the return on value basis. So profit before tax, it comes 61 lakhs, income tax 18 lakhs. So cash profit is 1.38 crores. Again, there is a profit. Second year also there is a profit. But out of this, you have to repay your installments. So that installment comes around 67 lakhs. So net cash flow, in spite of paying the principal amount, you will be parking 71 lakhs. See friends, just for different utilization, I calculated this profitability table for you. First year, it's visible for you all. It's visible?
Not properly. Not properly. It's blurred.
No. Okay, after this session, I'll mail the entire presentation to you all, to the email ID. So let me explain you. In the first year, I took 80% as a capacity utilization. Second year, I raised to 85%. Third year, 90%, and consistently, I followed for all 7 years. So, for taking 3 rupees profit, first year 2.16 crores, negative 2.29 crores, 2.43 crores, 2.43, and again similarly. So we have to pay interest on term loan as well as working capital. So in different stages, you see the cash profit for the first year, it comes to 1.45 crores, second year 1.49 crores, next year 1.57 crores, fourth year 1.58 crores, fifth year 1.59 crores, sixth year similarly, almost about 1.6 and 1.66 crores. See, your investment at the initial stage, it was about 1.79 crores. And each year, as a cash profit, you are getting 1.5 crores Indian average. And so far as return on investment is concerned, if you consider depreciation as a loss, then your ROA for the first year is 13%, for the second year it is 32%, for the third year it is 49%, 59% is for fourth year, fifth year it is 67%, sixth year it is 74%, and for the year 7 it would be 79%. And if you consider ROI in terms of cash profit, then it would be very high, that is 81, 83 and up to 93%. So, this is about the profitability. Those who want to ask questions, you can later ask me many questions as you want. Before that, we take a responsibility of building plant for you. What is that? What is the Turnkey project? You all know what is Turnkey project. It's a project where the technology, construction, planning, procurement, engineering, everything is involved, and it is as good as a plotter ready to eat at the end, but you have to pay for that. So far as our terms are concerned, so these are the steps wherein we take the plant's negotiation. So whoever enters into the agreement of buyback and procurement of raw materials, so we will be supplying the technology without charging anything. So we'll upgrade your machinery, but at an actual cost, we are not taking any price for upgradation of technology. Whenever there is upgradation, why we are doing at a free of cost is very simple, because we want a quality fuel at the end. That is what, because we are having an agreement with you for buyback of finished goods. For that we require highly quality oriented product. For that we are giving technology at a free of cost. For the first year we are giving free service. There on the later stage we'll charge AMC for that. So these are the steps for Turnkey project. Okay, I'll mail the entire my presentation to you, to your email ID. She said it's not visible from there. See, before I wrap up this financial part, I would like to highlight where we stand. So, we are into business of biodiesel. We take plant construction and turnkey project. We collect used cooking oil. We collect seeds from farmers. We buy back your fuel. We supply fuel on door-to-door basis. We also have industrial outlets. We have bulk consumers. We have a fully integrated software to operate the system very successfully. We supply raw materials to you. We help you to get the finance. We prepare projection. We prepare project report and all to you. So this is all an ecosystem. So whoever enters with us, so will be the part of our team. So with this, I come to the end of my brief presentation on financial part. So anybody wants to raise a question, I'm happy to share my view. You guys or any laborers to dump in. We are giving raw material at your doorstep. You don't require. We take finished goods from your doorstep. You don't require any transportation or any logistic or any human resources to taking care of that. Only the part what we have to take care is an administration plus production, all put together. 6 to 8 members. 6 to 8 manpower is enough. 6 for production, 2 for administration. That's all.
Number of shifts?
Number of?
Shifts.
Shift. Number of shifts.
How many hours?
I know. That technical part, we have a debate session after my session. You can pose that question because I am the finance guy. I am able to answer only on the finance part. That technical part, I'll ask Mr. Satheesh Leele to answer that. How many shift is required? Okay.
Have you considered R&M cost? Repairs and maintenance.
Sir, in the cost of 4 rupees, we have taken everything into consideration.
Who will do R&M? Who will do maintenance?
It's Gogreen.
What do you think of a 5,000 litre per?
The cost of 30,000 litres capacity plant cost you about 4.13 crores. It's 3.5 crores plus GST. See, hardly a difference. That difference makes you a lot when it comes to return on investment. So we always prefer 30,000 litre capacity plant because 30,000 capacity plant, easily you can get a procurement, you can have raw material and easily you can run the show. But with the investment of 2.5 crores for the capacity of 10,000, it's not so viable when you compare to 30,000 litres capacity plant. So even we don't prefer 1 lakh litre capacity plant. Because if you want, we can build 1 lakh capacity plant. But when it comes to return on investments, we prefer 30,000 litres capacity so far as profit is concerned.
Actually, on the supply of equipment, I think, do you have any DLP period mentioned? Like for example, defect liability period for a 1 year or 2 year or 4 years, something like that. And after 1 or 2 years.
Sir, it's not so audible.
Yeah.
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah. So the thing is actually that for entire supply of machine. So is there any DLP period mentioned by you, when mentioned by Gogreen? So DLP is defect liability period. See, for example, you told the entire machine is automated. So if at all anything goes wrong with the instrumentation or part or anything related to the process,
okay,
so we will troubleshoot that.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So I have answer for that. To you on the particular day, for example, in 30 days, if you fail 5 days, we are committed to give 5 days penalty. Taking the consideration of past how many liters of productions you have. For example, you run a capacity of 21,000 liters per day. We will give 63,000 rupees penalty per day for non-supplying of raw materials to you. That is committed from our side. And if you don't lift the raw material, and it's this one. So we are committed to give raw material uninterrupted.
The entire, see, it is an automated machine, right?
Yes,
so it is a FMS system, flexible manufacturing system. So wherein any instrument goes wrong, our entire machine will not work, right?
Okay.
So on that front, what we need to do?
See, in Turnkey project, we have a 65 pages parameter we fixed. If anything breaks, within few hours or some 24 hours or 48 hours, we'll be able to attain. Sir, we take an agreement for at least 20 days in a month, you have to supply to us. The rest of the 10 days, if you manufacture for all 30 days, it's your wish to give to us or to someone. But as per our buyback agreement, we will lift 20 days stock. But if you fail to get us the manufactured this one, then it's a breach of contract. So you have to supply at least 20 days stock to us only.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'm Ali from Mahendrakar, sir.
Yes, Mr. Ali.
Yeah, my question to you is, like you have worked out the operation cost at 4 rupees per litre. Am I right? So that includes transportation of raw materials? Because in case it varies from destinations, no? For instance, if it is Hyderabad, I'm planning to install a factory over there. So what's the source? Like you have to, the transportation charges are included in that? The operation cost, because it differs from location to location.
Yes.
That's where I just want to
That's a very good question.
check with you.
That's a very good question.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for that.
See, sir, that is inclusive of everything. And what we lift is raw material plus 4 rupees production cost, 3 rupees profit, and we lift. Both the ways, transportation is ours. Loading and unloading charges is ours. For that we need explosive lessons. That will help you to get it.
I'm Shailendra from Bangalore.
Sir. So those who are buying the product, see, will be able to get the benefit. See, normally we sell biodiesel at 2 rupees lesser than the price of high-speed diesel. The person who gets the fuel will be having 2 benefits. One, he will be getting at the lesser price than the market price of HST.
Yes, sir, your question.
You can share the details on your current capacity, installed capacity, and what is the utilization level which you are operating currently, and what is the sales you are targeting for next 1 or 2, 3 years down the line?
Sir, we are establishing plan for you. Utilization is left to you.
I'm asking about the current utilization, what you are having, your scenario.
So, sir, we are using almost 80 to 90% of the plant capacity, and there is a huge demand for that.
So, what is the plant capacity?
So, right now we have a capacity of 1 lakh liters per day.
So, that is 80% utilized.
90% we are achieving it. Still, we have a huge demand.
It is a negotiable element. The contract what you have drafted on at your end.
See, no agreement is one-sided. So, we want to do business, we want to have association with you. It's fully ecosystem agreement wherein you will be benefited, we will also be benefited. We are giving the technology, we are giving support.
Capital capex, and for the opex I am taking 1 crore rupees loan.
Okay.
I am liable to pay to the bank principal and interest. Whether your agreement will cover that losses, principal and interest coverage.
See sir, we are supplying plant to you. We are supplying. We built a plant for you. Next is you have to run the show.
Definitely, but because of plant performance, what I am saying, my question is very specific. Because of plant performance, it is not necessarily what you are setting out made will be 100% performing at the optimum level. It may degrade. So in that scenario, how my principal and interest will be covered by you?
See sir, we are committed to the extent of capacity what we supply. Suppose you purchase 10,000 liters per day capacity plant. If 10,000 is not produced, you can straight away fit us for breach of contract.
That's not my target to go take it to the court.
I know what your question is.
My question is that how I will be benefited. What I shall be able to meet the expectation of the financer or the investors or the banks. The banks ultimately sees whenever he is giving loan that whether I shall be able to pay the principal and interest to him or not. And whether that minimum basic support, will be available from you or not.
Sir, sir, as I explained to you, with the capacity of 80% production, how much profit is? It's a straight profit. So, 3 rupees profit, net profit we are giving.
Sir, my question, please don't deviate. My question is very specific. In case of non-performance of the plant.
Sir, non-performance of the plant is for. See, if
it is taken into consideration, I understand you have not taken
I think we'll take this question separately, sir, because I think we need to understand what exactly is in your mind before we can give you an answer which is acceptable to you. We'll take it separately. Yes, sir, can you have your question, please?
Just a minute, I am not coming. 3,000 square feet, what you are charging 4.59 crores machinery. Can you give the breakup of the machinery?
Sir, breakup of the machinery.
Because according to me, it should not cost so much. In 3,000 square feet, and this flow what we are showing, this much of amount won't be charged. It is abnormally high. What I am perceiving, you are earning on the machinery supply itself only. It is double.
Okay, so and you need the split of the machinery. See, if you purchase Benz car, it is quite similar to that of any ordinary car. If you ask the Benz people to give the split of the machinery, he will not give. Because he is charging on the technology, he is charging. See, the cost of the Apple mobile is 1 lakh rupee. Similar, replica of the Apple cost you about 10,000. If you ask the Apple people to give the split, will be able to give the splits? No. So similarly, we have a technology, we have an integrated technology, we have a capacity, we build this plant, this is plant up to, it will give high quality fuel, and this is our price, sir. We cannot give you splits.
You are charging for technology. What you have sold.
Sir,
you are
partly
not
we are
charging
charging technology, partly we are giving the high quality machinery, partly we are giving the fully integrated machinery with all supports.
So one last question from you, sir.
Considering today's prices, right? Now there will be 7 years of projection you are showing. During the 7 years, how the inflation will be taken care of, and how, as a producer, they contract from the contract manufacturing from your side or from my side, how will that be taken factored into our complete prices?
Okay, your question is very good. 4 rupees cost based on today's cost of index or cost of living index. 4 rupees may not be equal after 6 or 7 years. It may vary. So you raised very good question. So there might be some escalation. We have taken that into consideration, and we have also calculated the cost of index for that.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Somebody was putting the hand here.
Any restrictions?
Loudly, sir.
Any restrictions about site?
Sir, 1 minute, sir. 1 minute. Yeah, loudly, please.
That we will announce to you later. We are guaranteed to the extent of 3 rupees profit. Production cost 4 rupees plus raw materials. Transportation is ours. Lifting of transportation is us. So everything is included. So that means you are getting 3 rupees straight away profit. So you are not concerned with the market price of diesel or biodiesel price.
I have a question. If we have a setup of plant, can we enter into the agreement of buyback and Transbiodiesel?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Sir.
Sir, payment for the raw material supply is no credit. What about the payment for the finished products?
Fully against cash. We lift the material only against cash.
It's immediately?
Immediate, sir. Immediate RTGS and lift. Not lift and RTGS.
So I am Jagdish from Tamil Nadu. This buyback agreement is for a certain period of time or lifelong of the year.
So that will be for minimum 5 years.
After 5 years, sir?
If you want to enter into agreement for 10 years or 15 years, you are welcome. Minimum is 5 years.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
My name is Ashraf, I am from Kerala. The question is the byproduct, glycerol also you will buy. If you think in case what will be the price of glycerol?
Sir, that's a technical question. We have a debate session after this. Sure, we will answer your question.
And one more question. The AMC for the first year it will be free. From the second year onwards you will charge for the AMC. So
AMC.
annual maintenance contract.
And sure, sir.
Yeah.
That would be around 5% of the cost of the plant, and after taking depreciation into consideration.
So one more question is the fuel price. If the crude price is
You will be charging.
Sir, bit louder, please. Bit louder.
Yeah, if the crude price is going to increase, means you will increase the net profit 3 rupees to further higher or not?
No, sir. Whatever the price of the the prices of the raw material always depends on the price of the fuel. Price of the fuel goes up, now it is say 70 rupees, it is raised to 100 rupees. The price of raw material is available at 42 rupees, will go up to 60, 65 rupees. So, invariably, you have to get the raw material with a higher price, and from our side, 3 rupees profit is assured irrespective of the market price.
So you will give the 3 rupees profit and 4 rupees the production cost.
Yes.
Total 7 rupees.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I don't want to continue. So what guarantee you will be giving that you will sustain the agreement for 5 years?
Okay. Sir's question is, what guarantee you will give? We have an agreement for 5 years, and if you deny after 2 years, the contract we are not supposed to do, because there is a penalty clause in the agreement itself for non-procuring of raw materials to you. As I said, if I don't supply for 1 day, we are committed to give 1 day profit to you. For example, if your plant runs for last 30 days, approximately 20,000 liters per day, we need to pay 60,000 rupees profit as a loss of profit to you, as a penalty from our side to you. You can claim.
To get the license, and is there any specification that this much of space has to be left for the storage of methanol? Government rule.
Okay.
And who is going to get the license and how much it costs?
Okay. So you have to take the storage of methanol, a permission for exposure license from Nagpur. For that, cost is involved, that is, you have to pay for that. And how much to be sure, how much to store and all, it depends on capacity what you have. So there is a fixed parameter to ask.
There is no government. Government has not fixed any.
That's
so
what.
much of space it has to be left for storage and all. There is no such thing.
That's what.
Mandatory. There is nothing like that.
As per my knowledge, we will have same question at the end of the session for technical guys to answer that.
Sir, in a turnkey project, does the cost involves for methanol and all?
Yes, we have taken everything into consideration. Even
for licensing.
Even we took byproduct into consideration.
Any other questions? Let's restrict ourselves to the financial portion of it. If you want any questions on the technical aspect of it, sir, we can ask Mr. Satheesh Leele or somebody else to answer. Yes, sir.
Sir.
In turnkey project.
No, but that price is not included.
It is additional.
That's additional. It's not that much big amount.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
For your machinery manufacturer.
Okay.
Then will you reduce the cost of that machinery from this project? We will provide machinery.
What is
this 4.54 lakhs which you are asking? We will provide machinery. Then you will reduce the cost in that total project.
Sir.
Number one.
Sir.
And number two, you are charging 10% at the time of agreement and 10% at the time of delivery.
Yes.
So this will be including in the cost of the.
Sir, the agreement is signed. We will give the delivery after trial production. Till that time, neither your staff, neither your inputs are taken into consideration. We don't take any inputs or any manpower support or any logistic support from your side. Everything is ours. We don't entertain outside raw materials or outside
Banking and all those till it is trial production is given.
Yes, sir.
You will take your guarantee.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Your question, sir.
My questions will be definitely from engineering side, but from the finance side, what other people are asking, in case if the plant is not running to the full capacity, that we have already taken into consideration by 80% of the capacity. Now this 80% of the capacity is of the installed capacity.
Yes, exactly.
Out of that, 20 days we are considering for the profit.
25
right?
days.
20 days.
25 days.
I took 25 as a...
Okay.
25 days.
So it's already considered. 5 days the plant is not running, or because of the raw material or because of the breakdown, that is already considered. Point number one. Yeah, it's considered.
In India, you may have so many holidays.
Right. Yes. So that is also already taken into consideration.
Yes.
Now point number 2, my question is, in the first year, it is running in the, let's say, 80% of the capacity.
Yes.
In the second year, it is running at the 80% capacity. But the prices of the raw material may increase. Transportation cost may increase. Will you continue the 3% profit over a production last 5th year also? The question is this, that today we are considering, probably the projection may be for 1 year, but is the projection is for 5 years also? After 5 years, the consumption or the requirement may change. At the same time, transportation cost at your part will also change. Now the third part which everybody is asking, if the plant is shut down, break down, you are saying onus is yours. Where is the onus of manufacturer?
Yeah.
The onus of manufacturer or the employing 6 labor or 7 labor, the onus is of the manufacturing side, manufacturer side.
Yes.
So the equal responsibility comes on this side of the agreement, right? So a lot of questions will also already answered if the agreement will flash. Probably everybody can see the agreement terms and condition. As I said, as you said, that there will be penalty of if you will not lift the material.
Yes.
If it is not produced because of the absenteeism of labor, there should be penalty. There may be penalty clause on the manufacturer part.
Absolutely.
Right. So those things will get answered with the question with the agreement. But the important thing, raw material price will increase or decrease over a period of time. Will the profit sharing of 3 rupees per liter will continue in the 5th year also?
Okay. Thank you. He's having multiple questions. Let me answer. The first question is about the profitability. Second question is on the basis of utilization of capacity. Third question, he asked about the various levels of production. And the fourth question is on the owners. And the fifth question is on the profit. Okay, let me answer and let me make it very simple. See, sir, irrespective of transportation may go up, may come down, raw materials price may go up or come down, your profit is same. We are committed. And we said the capacity utilization, if it is 80%, 85%, 90%, whatever it is, so sometimes if breaks, is there any penalty class from you to us? No. So if you are not produced and you are not supplying, there is no question of implementing penalty on you, because we are entering an agreement with you for buyback. If we don't supply, we will give penalty, and if you produce and if you don't supply to us, it's a breach of contract. And if you don't produce and if you don't supply, there is no penalty from our side. So regarding the escalation of transportation cost, it's a simple formula, sir. Whatever you do, if you increase the price of the raw material at the end, lifting price will go up. So it's better not to debate on escalation, because we are giving straight away 3 rupees profit. It's irrespective of the prices may go up or come down. Okay, with this,
That's the last one that we'll take. That's the last one we'll take. Last one.
So,
we'll talk later, sir. Last one.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Please hold the mic closer.
The 4 rupees conversion cost.
Yeah.
And there's one term, the raw material cost. So the cost of methanol, which one is it?
See, and we take back methanol to some extent as back after production. We will be having some percentage which is used in the production. We have taken that into consideration.
That is in the 4 rupees.
Yes, that is included.
Thank you. Thank you. Last one, sir. Absolutely last one.
As you told, if there is a
sir, bit closer.
As you told, if there is a default in supply of raw material for 1 day, you will give penalty. Right? If 10 days, 10 days penalty. But agreement is for 5 years, and after 1 year, you totally stop the raw material supply. Say for any reasons, then you are going to the profit margin of average 1.5 crores per year. So are you going to give us 6 crores for 4 years bridge?
Sir, we have to. See, sir, one more thing. We may not supply raw material, so some exceptional cases you can excuse, but not on business terms. Exceptional cases like beyond our control, we may not be.
Do we have any technical questions? Mr. Satheesh Leele is here. He is our guru in the industry. Any technical questions regarding biodiesel? This is the time to ask. Any doubts you have regarding biodiesel, viability, etc., financially? Srinivas, Mahendrakar, technically, Mr. Satheesh Leele. Any technical questions, please?
So I have got a financial question. The provision of generators and the boilers for that, or it has been inbuilt in your turnkey project?
Sir, generator is excluded.
Okay.
Generator is excluded, boiler is included.
Boiler is included.
Yes.
So does this mean this is a continuous process?
A bit louder.
It is a continuous process?
Yeah.
Is it being imported or it's locally made?
So blend. Some parts of the raw material, some part of.
Now how do I buy it? Should I import it or should I take it from you directly?
It's a turnkey project. We have to import. So some part we import and some indigenously.
No, it's okay. I create locally for you. That's all.
We come to the end of this financial viability. I thank our Managing Director, Mr. Nabin, for giving me the opportunity to speak before you. Thank you, Manager.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Would you like to say a few words, Mr. Sure? Okay, I'll move on then. Okay, we are nearing the end of the day today. There are 2 more short presentations to talk about a new business projection, new business project that Gogreen as a company is working on. This is a very interesting project. This is something that has been conceptualized, in fact, to help biodiesel producers take the benefit of their industry. I'd like to call upon Endor Technologies, Ms. Pavan. Please come, sir. Can you please explain what exactly we are working on?
There is a very good concept which Mr. Nabin has come out with. It's a very great idea, which I can say. It could be definitely a game changer. So before that, I'd like to just give a brief that my company is 10 years old, which we are completely focused on transportation domain. So we've been developing application for these fleet owners who can run their business like car on hire or taxi businesses, fleet management, those aspects. So we have more than 500 plus clients globally who are operating the fleet management applications and the taxi businesses using our application. So what we are doing now is we are developing an application for Gogreen which I guess my presentation will talk about. A small video clip. After that, I'll just give you a brief about the features involved in it. Cab drivers who are running their lifestyle with that business. But the fact is, as I am working on the domain since last 3 years, all these taxi drivers are all completely unhappy with the earnings what they are making with Ola Uber. So, but they are no other hope to run with the business. In this regards, the beautiful idea here is where Gogreen would be a savior for them, like an application would be developed as a taxi application, which involves not only taxi, there are multiple features involved in it. The major it's divided into 4 parts. First thing is, which like the facilities what Ola Uber gives, like local booking and rental packages and outstation packages. And then there will be a commercial fleets also, where trucks and all can also be assigned to the application. So any passenger or any user who is using the application can utilize the services. And the third section is Biodiesel. That means even a user who is downloaded the app can also order a diesel, like he can request the quantity of the diesel what he is looking for. So this request will be sent to the nearest dealer and he can deliver it, and then transactions can complete over. And then the 4th section would be is sell used oil. That means again this application would be given to the vendors as well, whoever want to, not vendors, the regular users who want to sell their used oil also, they can place a request saying that the type of oil what they want to sell and the quantity in that, and then Gogreen would be going and then procuring it and giving the value for it. So overall, all these facilities are happening in one app. So that is going to be a Gogreen app. This is the one good strategy where Gogreen would be connected with all the masses, all the people, general people, where they can utilize this as a multiple purposes, like getting the taxi services and then getting the helping them to buy the diesel and also sell their used oils. Now, what is benefiting here is the main crux here is I can see the taxi drivers who are going to be the Gogreen drivers. Now they will be a marketer. When they are using these fleets in the market, so obviously the
it's going to be the next generation cloud-based taxi booking solution. Let's see how it makes ride easier. Well, here is the passenger looking for a taxi. No taxi stopped by. It seems to be quite difficult in hiring a taxi during peak hours. The passenger could get the app downloaded from the App Store. The passenger will be able to sign up with the app using his contact number as well as with the Facebook account. The pickup point of the passenger is automatically fetched by the app, and the drop-off place has to be entered either manually or he can drag it from the map and place it over. The request goes to the nearest available driver on the app, and then the passenger will be able to check out his profile as well. The driver receives the request and he has to confirm it within 60 seconds, else the request will be sent to the next nearest available driver. The driver has access to the request now. The passenger receives the notification that the driver has confirmed the request. Okay, the taxi is on the way. The driver has picked the passenger and dropped him at the concerned place. The fare will be automatically calculated and the driver could receive the payment either as a cash or through card. Instantly, the passenger receives the e-receipt of the successful completion of the payment. The passenger will be able to rate the journey and share the experience through social media.
Coming from the passengers. Along with that, there would be even a commercial fleets section as well, where trucks and all also can be part of that. And normally, users can also book a truck using the Gogreen application. Same time as I said there will be a Biodiesel section where any user can place a request for buying a diesel, and this request will be sent to the nearest dealers, and they have to get it delivered and collect the commercials. Then same way the last section is sell used oil, where any person can place a request regarding the quantity and the type of the oil which he wants to sell, where Gogreen will go and get it collected and then do the commercial settlement with them. So this is how I'm sure this application will help. First of all, in the general public, where passengers can avail the services. Secondly, the drivers will be morely. The main thing I got to know that the drivers all would be encouraged to go and get the fuel done with only Gogreen fuel stations. So that's the main crux what I have seen. And I wish this will definitely be a big success in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pavan.
For Gogreen, this is a new venture. You might be knowing who are the leading icons in taxi, especially taxi app. If you name it, you will get one or two or three. That's Ola, Uber, and few more. So with this, there is an addition that is of Gogreen. We are launching one taxi app. And the unique feature of this taxi app is, so normally Ola and Uber, they charge commission. Whatever you pay, that is inclusive of their profit. They are doing it for profit. But from Gogreen, we are launching this app all over India without taking the consideration of profit. This is from our side. We are not going to charge anything. Whatever benefit will be shared equally by the passenger and the fleet owner, that is taxi owner. So while we are launching this, we have a purpose. We are into business of biodiesel. We want the entire taxis which are under the operations to come under the community of our ecosystem. We want to have lakhs and lakhs of vehicles to be under our control. So to have that entire operation into our ecosystem, we track all the taxi apps, and we are running this project without any profit. This is for not for profit motive, and this is purely customer oriented app as well as the taxi profitable app, because we are not charging. Normally Ola and Uber, they charge 25 to 28%, and sometimes in peak hours 40 to 50% profit. So we are not charging single rupee profit. Whatever their collections, let it be fully for the taxi owners. This is from our side, and we are going to launch this project shortly, and we'll be calling all of you for that inaugural session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Which is very close by here. Tomorrow we have arranged for a plant visit. Whoever is interested in seeing the plant, because today you only saw the theory of it. Whoever is interested in seeing the plant can register outside with the staff. You can go ahead and visit the plant. Somebody will take you around and show you the entire process from the beginning to the end. In case you're interested, two of the staff are there who are registering. People who are interested in visiting the plant, you can come and have a look at it. It's about 20 to 25 kilometers from here, that's all. Okay? If there's no other question, we'll close the session now. Ms. Nabin, would you like to say a few words in conclusion? Or shall I close the session? Very good. It's been a long, tough day. There's a lot of information. Some of it we have managed to assimilate, some of it went over our heads. We can understand that, because this entire industry is new to most of us. Some like Mr. Satheesh Leele are very, very experienced in this industry. Rest of it is coming in new. There are a lot of questions still in our minds, in spite of the full day. These questions can be taken up and can be answered. We can give that assurance from Gogreen side. Myself and the entire team of Gogreen, along with our MD Mr. Pavan, would like to thank each and every delegate and each and every dignitary for attending this function and gracing this occasion. Tomorrow's plant visit is open. In case you need to register, please do so. Anything else? Of course, we are available for the next 1 hour at least here. In case you want to talk to one of us, we are still here. Otherwise, thank you very much and wish you a pleasant evening.